Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Good. Mark, what's happening?
Joe.
Dude, the movie's fantastic. And I know I told you outside, but I wanted to save it. When I kind of had a little bit of a prejudice when I went to see the movie, I was like, okay, it's going to be an MMA movie.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a movie that happens to be about MMA, but it's a great movie.
Oh, I appreciate
it's
that.
It's really good, man. It's like, you know, it's very gripping, and the performances are fantastic, and the way The Rock did you was nuts.
I can't explain it. I keep using the word surreal, but it doesn't describe it. Like I was saying, my son, when he watched it, and just flipping out, like talking to me, like on the side, like I was saying, like literally just going, Dad, he's got your mannerisms. He's got your speech pattern. But you imagine, like, I'm picturing my son. He's in New York when he watched that.
Right.
And so I'm picturing him in the corner of the lobby of the theater, talking with his back to everybody, going, oh, my God, Dad. Like, it's like a doppelganger. He's got all of it, you know, like full-blown, like, it was like the because a lot of my saying for myself is I can't see the forest through the trees. I'm in the middle of it. Am I looking at it objectively? Am I really looking at it? Or am I seeing something and hear my son say, oh, my gosh, Dad, he nailed it.
Right. No,
unbelievable.
He really did nail it. Like we were saying in the lobby, like I didn't know The Rock could act that well.
You know,
it's really good acting. It's not like blockbuster movie acting, which is he's great at that, but it's a different thing.
It's complete. So with DJ, I kept trying to say to him, you don't have to do this, dude. Like, you don't have to do this. And he would stop me and he would go, yeah, I do.
What do you mean by you don't have to do this?
So meaning that, like, he's
he's
at a place in his life where he can just keep doing blockbusters and be perfectly fine with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, he says it himself. There's always a place for that. There's always going to be a place for blockbuster movies and for that. But he needed to do something different. He needed to do something different.
Well, it's the perfect role if you want to do something different for him, because it's a very complex role, and it's about a giant dude.
Yeah.
And that's him.
Yeah.
So it's like really like the perfect way. Because otherwise, if you're built like he is, it's very hard to get work as a serious actor. This might be like the only opportunity to show people, like, hey, I can actually act.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think he did it. With
he
flying
did. He did an
colors.
amazing job. I mean,
amazing
to the point where, like, Emily, unbelievable.
She's great. She plays such a crazy
Oh
bitch.
my God, man!
She's so good at it.
Oh my God,
she's so good at playing crazy.
Oh my God,
it gave me anxiety. Like sometimes, like when you're getting ready to fight and she's starting arguments, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting anxiety.
So here's what was he. So I saw a 80% complete version of the film in January of this year, and then the first time I see a complete version of it was in Venice. And so I'm in Venice, and there's Benny on my right, and there's DJ on my left, and there's Emily next to DJ. In the last scene of the movie, right, that intensity of that scene, I'm just telling you, it was like, I said it was therapy for me. Because I think for the first time I could actually see my part in it. Like, I could see my part, how fucking hard I was on the people around me. You know, how just singularly driven I was to accomplish something at all cost. And the person that paid it the most was Dawn. She paid a heavy price, you know. And, you know, anybody that's successful, you know, for me, I was trying to raise everybody up, you know, everybody around me. And it was just a selfish endeavor. And I could see it in those moments. I could see it in who DJ was, you know, and who Emily was, and the intensity of it. I was like, fuck.
Well, it's such a crazy task to try to be an elite MMA fighter at a time where there was no one even knew what it was.
No.
I mean, when you first, I met you in '97. There's a crazy photo of us together.
I saw that.
Dude, 97, that's like 30 years ago almost. Isn't that nuts?
So this is what's fucking crazy. So trying to describe what I did back then, like people, their jaws would hang open.
Right.
They would go, "You do what?"
Like, why would you do that? That's
Yeah.
us. Oh my God. 1997, dude. That's so crazy.
Oh my God.
So crazy.
Oh my God.
Such
Were
a
they
long
even
time ago.
paying you back then?
A little bit. They paid me a little bit.
Oh my
It wasn't a lot
God.
of money, but it was for me. It was just for fun. It was like I was a giant fan of the sport, and what happened was Campbell McLaren. Do you remember Campbell?
Yeah.
He was good friends with my manager Jeff, and they were just talking, and he said we need a guy to do backstage interviews. Post-fight interviews, and he goes, Joe really loves the sport. He's like, really? He goes like, oh yeah, he follows all the fights in Japan, and he's like, and so for me it was just fun. I mean, it wasn't. It was actually costing me money, which is why I wound up quitting. Because I quit, and I did it for like a year and a half, 2 years maybe, and then in '98 I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's just actually costing me money. And so then when I started doing Fear Factor, that's when Zuffa bought it. And I wound up working for them again, but. In those days, it was for me, it was a dream because as a lifelong martial artist, when I was a kid, there was always the big question: what was the best style? And no one knew until Jorge and Gracie put it all together and decided to create the UFC.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden we get to see it. And then obviously you had Japan Valley Tudo and then Pride and all these big events over in Japan. And it became, to me, it was like, finally someone did it.
That was so part of my first fights in Brazil. I was still brainwashed by the idea that, oh shit, he's 7 foot tall or 6'9". He's the toughest dude in the room.
Right.
Because that's how I grew up, right? Or 10th degree black belt, same thing.
Right.
Oh no, don't mess with him.
Yeah.
And in one where that first time I fought, I was still under the delusion that was the truth. Mm-hmm. And so my trainer kept going, trust me, you're gonna do fine. Trust me, you're gonna do fine. And it's just like he understood what I was as a wrestler, you know, that I can impose. Like I said, to tell you the best definition I've ever had for a wrestler is I can hold a grown-ass man where he doesn't want to be held for as long as I want to hold him there, and he can't do a fucking thing about it.
Exactly.
That's a wrestler.
And you can dictate where the fight takes place always. So if you come a wrestler like Chuck Liddell, then you say, no, you can't take me down. So I'm just going to beat the fuck out of you standing, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Not a single thing.
It's the most important skill.
Oh my God, it's foundational. And that's why there's so much success for the I'm going to blank on the names, but the wrestlers it's a resurgence of like really what a foundational piece it is.
Yeah.
And how important it is when you have a high. You know what they're able to do too as a wrestler? I always just look at the Russian wrestlers and go, what makes them so good? They could flurry in succession more times than I could. Like Kurt Angle, right? When I wrestled against Kurt trained at a level that I wasn't training at. He could sustain a flurry to the point where I would just make mistakes because I would be to exhaustion. And you watch them; they'll string these moves together and string them together.
Hamza Chimaev's a great example
oh my
of
God,
that.
unbelievable!
He's the best example of that.
Unbelievable because you'll see him shoot, reshoot, shoot again, get up, stand up, fake, shoot again. And you can't keep up with it.
Yep.
You just inevitably you just make mistakes or you just give in to the exhaustion of the moment, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, nothing you can do about it.
When a guy has an insane cardio with those kind of skills, it is the toughest combination to beat. Like Cain Velasquez in his prime. You know,
oh my God.
Insane cardio, elite wrestling, and then elite MMA stand-up skills as well. Like
Scary.
Get everything.
Scary.
And the cardio is the scariest thing because when you're scared to hit the gas, like 3 more minutes in the round, and you see Cain is just fucking bobbing
around,
and
man.
like he's not even breathing heavy in between rounds. His stomach's not even heaving.
He's a big dude.
He's 240 and he's not even tired. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it defies logic.
But there's guys like that have that fucking insane cardio. You know, I mean, I don't know how much you're following the UFC, but there's this kid Anthony Hernandez in the middleweight division that's nuts. And then you got Merab Dvalishvili, who's like the best example of it. Unstoppable.
So this is kind of, again, one of these things where where there's certain athletes that have a gear that nobody else has.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just how they're built. It's just how they're built.
Well, I remember when you came along and when Coleman came along, all of a sudden everybody's like, I got to get on steroids.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah.
But it's like, I got to get bigger. I got to get bigger. That's when Vitor got up to like 240
Oh, my God.
pounds.
He was big. He was
got
big.
Way too big for his frame. I mean, you're talking about a guy who eventually wound up fighting at 185.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he finished his career up at 85, and he was there at 240 when he fought Randy the first time.
Yeah.
Which was bananas.
So that night was my last UFC. That was UFC 15.
Ah, wow.
And that's when Randy beat Vitor. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those where I'm like, oh, just wait. Because I know what Randy is.
Right.
Randy's cardio. Randy's like, he can take it. And it was one of those things where I was like, I don't think Victor's going to win.
Right.
It's just
and that's what we called him back
styles.
then. His name was Victor.
Yeah.
When
Victor.
he first came into the UFC, his first fight, when he was fighting in Hawaii, he was Victor Gracie.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, he was going by the last name Gracie. And then I think he got sued or threatened with a lawsuit, and then he changed it to Victor Belfort because, like, Horian was very litigious. You know?
Yeah,
he was, like,
Oh my
very
God,
protective of the Gracie name. And so he fought John Hess in Hawaii and beat the living shit out of him.
Rumble on the Rock stuff or whatever.
I don't think it was Rumble on the Rock. That was BJ's promotion, and that was later. This was like really early on. This was I don't know who the fuck was doing that event, but it was just in a ring, and Vitor came out and blitzed him with punches, and nobody had seen anything like that before. Like, oh God, this is because everybody thought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Yeah.
You don't think you're gonna have a guy who has hands like that.
Oh my God, his hand speed was unreal.
He was so fast.
Unreal and accurate.
Yeah.
Like, you could be fast, and that's one thing, but fast and actually hitting the target when the target's bobbing and weaving, it's like, oh my God, man.
He's an
Scary.
interesting case study because he's like, first of all, pioneer, right?
Yep.
First fought in the UFC when he was 19 years old. Right?
Crazy.
And, won the tournament at 19, which is just bananas. And then when we got to see him he got off the sauce and his body kind of faded out. And then they brought back testosterone replacement. And then when testosterone
TRT,
replacement came in, all of a sudden it was TRT Vitor, and he was the scariest motherfucker alive for like 5 fights or whatever it was before they killed the TRT exemptions, and then it all went away for him. It's just like, that should be a commercial for testosterone replacement.
Yeah, I mean, it really could be. Back then, because there was so much myth surrounding mixed martial arts that you felt like if you didn't do something, it was like the saying is like, oh, you're going to a gunfight with a knife, right? It was that type of mentality back then.
Well, it's also everyone was on it, and there was no testing.
Yep.
And in fact, in Pride, when Ensign was on the podcast, he told me that in large letters it said, "We do not test for steroids."
Yeah, oh
in
my
the contract.
God, man.
Like, they're like,
Yeah. So they
Get
would
after it,
would
fellas.
literally they would do this. They would hand you a cup and go, urine. And you go, who's clean? You just look around and you just hand the cup off going, hey, can you piss from here? and you literally walk back to the medical and go,
"Here's
drug
the
test.
pee."
Yeah, here. And I mean, that's the era it was.
So your first fight was it in Brazil?
In Brazil, yeah.
And the crazy thing is, they reproduced that arena, that conference room, perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, because I saw your first fight, I saw all those early fights, and then to see that in like the movie, I was like, oh, they did it. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they fudge a little.
So here's what. So I was in Vancouver for the set when they had the set up, and I was sitting there. I was laughing with Benny about it, going, "All right, who came up with the pyramid in the door opening with fog machines?" I go, because it's like I can't even imagine the brainstorm going, "You got any bright ideas of how to introduce the?" Yeah, let's do a pyramid and let's have a trap door fall. It's like, what the fuck? Where in the bigger picture of stuff is going? But they reproduced it to the T.
It was perfect.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
It was really great because in the movie they did about Mark Schultz, what was that movie again? Fucking Foxcatcher. That's right.
Yeah.
That movie had a lot of shenanigans in it. There was a lot of stuff that wasn't real.
accurate to
it. Wasn't
Yeah,
accurate.
yeah.
Like, he fought Big Daddy Goodrich in his one MMA fight,
Yeah.
but in the movie, he's fighting some Russian dude. Didn't make any sense.
No.
Completely different cat. Fought a white guy in the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, he fought Big Daddy Goodrich, and Big Daddy was wearing the gi. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, remember? I mean, not
Yeah,
only
oh
that,
my
but it
God,
was
yeah, yeah.
Big Daddy Goodrich is a legend.
Yeah.
And, like, how do you leave him out when that was his only MMA fight? Like, why did you change the guy he fought? That doesn't even make any sense. But they
No.
just did Hollywood shenanigans.
So, that was a huge part from the beginning of this when DJ and I talked back in 2019 is just the trust factor.
You guys started talking about this in
Yeah, 2019. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
6 fucking years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Here's what's crazy. So he says, "Hey, we're going to move forward with this." So for me, I hadn't even thought about any of this. Like it being a movie, he wants to play me in a movie, and he goes, "I'm going to make the announcement, Madison Square Garden at the BMF belt." He goes, we had this beautiful conversation, and it was just like this, "Do you trust me?" And it was like, yeah, I do.
He's a fucking great dude.
Oh my God, solid. By the way, he says, "Say hi." He left me a great message on the way over here. I was listening to him, man. He's a rare human being.
He is. I'm gonna call him after this, just to tell him what a fucking amazing job he did. Because I wanted to watch it right before I saw you.
Okay.
So I watched it today, and I was like, God damn, this is a good movie, man. And I was just blown away by how well he captured the chaos of the Pride organization, all the weirdness of the contract negotiations, everything.
So Benny from the beginning said the only way we're going to be able to do this is have that authenticity to the point where I sent them watches, rings, necklaces, posters, everything I could find, picture-wise, everything, to their props in production.
Oh, wow.
And they reproduced everything.
Oh, wow.
So, Joe, and when when I went up to Vancouver, and walked into some of these sets, literally going, "Holy fucking shit, man."
Did he flashback?
Oh my God. Like you'd walk into a room and there'd be from one corner all the way to the other on the wall, just pictures of me in my house and my this and this outfit, and this and these in my house and this. And then production saying, "Okay, was this accurate? How did this?" It was this unbelievable, painstaking. They rebuilt my life 25 years ago. So when DJ got into me, he actually was me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It seemed like it, man. I mean, it really did, because, it's hard when a guy's so famous to pretend that he's someone else.
Yeah.
He has to be really good to get you convinced. And I was all in. in.
So first time I saw him in Vancouver, nobody said, "Hey, listen, we're going to do prosthetics. We're going to give him your cauliflower ear. We're going to make his brow." And nobody told me this. So I was up there for fight week, and they're getting ready to shoot the scene where they're introducing everybody to the finalists for the Grand Prix. And so DJ's the last one to walk in, and I'm watching the ring. I don't know he's behind me. And I turn around, and it's like this, I see him as me. Joe, this is what I did. I'm like, "Fuck you." Fuck you. Oh my God. And it's this moment where I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at myself.
Yeah.
I could still see him in there, but I'm looking at a mirror picture myself. And it's this experience where I'm like, "Oh my God, man." Wow, you're going, this is you going to a place that nobody even thought you could get to.
Right.
It was incredible.
Well, you're such an important part of the history of MMA that I think this movie did that. It really honored that. It really did it justice, because at the end of the movie, when it talks about how fighters today make millions of dollars.
God, I'll cry. This will go on. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's but that you guys paved the way. If it wasn't for you guys, just doing it for very little money, like barely getting
Oh,
by.
man.
Putting your whole life on the line
Yeah.
and barely getting by. Oh, and I love that you had Alexander Usyk
Oh my God, isn't
play
he
Igor
awesome,
Vovchanchyn.
man?
This episode is brought to you by Happy Dad Hard Seltzer. Happy Dad's hard drinks are a low carbonation, gluten-free, and easy to drink. No bloating, no nonsense. Football games, golfing, watching fights, or out on the lake. These moments are made for Happy Dad. Everyone is drinking all these skinny cans loaded with sugar, but Happy Dad only has 1 gram of sugar in a normal can. Can't decide on a flavor? Grab a variety pack. Lemon lime, watermelon, pineapple, and wild cherry. They also have a grape flavor in collaboration with Death Row Records. Happy Dad is now available nationwide in the USA and Canada. Go to your local liquor store or visit happydad.com. And for a limited time, use the code Rogan to buy 1 Happy Dad trucker hat and get 1 free. Enjoy a cold Happy Dad. Must be 21 plus. Please drink responsibly. Happy Dad Hard Seltzer NT, malt alcohol, Orange County, California. That was amazing.
It was, so Benny signed him before he became the undisputed champ.
Oh, wow. Right. 2019.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where everything just kind of lined up in a way where you're like, all right, this is manifest destiny, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like Joe Dispenza,
Right,
really
right.
you're really tapping into something that's bigger because it's pulled all these people together.
Usyk did a great job, too.
Oh, he did a
moved
phenomenal
like
job.
Vovchanchyn.
Oh my God, he did that spinning back kick. Like
Yes.
I'm like, he's a boxer. He's not supposed to do
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I didn't even know he could do that.
No, neither did I.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I guess that guy could kind of do anything. He's such
Yeah.
a great
Oh
athlete.
my God, he's. You know how many rounds he trained prior to fighting Tyson Fury?
No.
600
Jesus.
with 3 different training partners. So every dude came in every 3rd round. He had a fresh guy on him.
I know that he was doing 15 rounds a day, and he made a deal with himself that his back touched the ropes. He would have to do another round, an extra round.
So that's one that I didn't hear that, but he said he would do rounds where he wasn't allowed to punch
Oh, wow.
at all.
We
He
just
just
had
had
to
to
do
bob
defense.
and weave in defense. I'm like, okay, like he's like one of us. Like he just takes it to a level that is just unbelievable.
He's a genius,
Oh.
like a literal boxing genius. Like, and I don't use that term lightly. Like, what he did to Dubois, I was like, oh my God. Because when you see Dubois, when Dubois knocked out Anthony Joshua, you're like, wow, this kid might be the future.
Yeah.
He is a fucking
Yeah.
destroyer. He's
Yeah.
a seek and destroy, brutal power, giant guy, incredible athlete. And Usyk just pieced him up. Just took him up,
Dismantled him.
dismantled him, and took him apart, and did it with all skill.
Literally understanding. He's not the biggest dude in the world.
No.
He's big, but he's not like 6'9", right?
No, he's not Tyson Fury size. He's not Dubois size.
He's not
either.
Dubois. He's not
Tyson, Anthony
if
Joshua.
None of
Yeah,
them. No.
No, he's a cruiserweight.
Oh,
He's a cruiserweight that beat everybody and knew that the only way to make real money is to go up to heavyweight.
Yeah.
And really leave a real legacy. Because he could have been one of those guys that retired as an undefeated cruiserweight. And boxing fans like myself would talk about him, but
Yeah.
everybody else would be like, who?
who? Yeah.
Meanwhile, now he's in the conversation of one of the greatest.
Oh, for
he's
sure.
Tyson, Ali. He's like,
Yep.
he's in there with that
Yep.
conversation.
And it's just consistently an overachiever.
Mm-hmm.
Consistently an overachiever.
And he's fucking 38. Right?
Which is even
crazier because
Yeah.
it's like he hasn't shown any slipping in his skill level at all, or his endurance, or his
None of it.
enthusiasm, or his discipline.
None of it.
Just also, it's like he was so fortunate to have been trained by Lomachenko's dad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's like a giant Lomachenko.
Oh, my God,
Because
yeah.
Lomachenko's so agile, so much footwork and movement, and
That makes sense.
He's basically like the heavyweight version of it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That makes actually more sense.
makes more sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because his movement for such a big guy is just extraordinary. It just doesn't exist anywhere else because it's not just the light on the feet. It's the angles he takes after punches and then the shifting of
Yeah.
the weight back to center when you don't expect it. And
Yeah.
then,
And that's like my son. Actually, it's my son's birthday today.
Happy
It's
birthday. What's his name?
Bryce.
Happy birthday, Bryce.
Yeah. 21. Right. I go, it's a birthday to wait for, but he's already doing all this stuff that you You know? So,
They all do.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's that age bracket. But so my son loves the science of boxing. You know, even 10 years ago when he was like 11, 12 years old, he'd be on YouTube watching the footwork of boxers. And I'm like, because I didn't get into that science of it and footwork and all that until I started doing MMA. Like understanding, like I understood wrestling, but boxing on that level is just, it's a whole nother complex set of skills.
Well, you were so deep in wrestling, though, it's almost impossible to pay attention to anything else. At the level that you were competing at,
Yeah.
you have to, that has to be everything
Singular.
you eat, breathe, sleep.
Yeah.
It's
Singular.
Like, yeah, it
Yeah.
has to be singular.
Yeah.
It has to be. It's
You
almost
know-
like you can't
Well,
go down any rabbit holes.
No, and that's one of those where, you know, my mentor, the guy that really brought me to another level, is a guy named Chris Campbell. He was Dan Gable's first NCAA champ when Dan Gable was a coach at Iowa. He made the 1980 Olympic team that was boycotted, won the 1981 World Championships, voted best technician in the world, and then retires. And then decides he's going to make the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona. So he's at 37 years old. He wins a bronze medal that year in Barcelona. 37.
That's pretty impressive. For
Really?
amateur wrestling,
Oh,
for
my
people who
God,
don't know,
man.
that's unheard of.
It's, I think still to this day, he's the oldest Olympic medalist.
Wow.
Because I mean, wrestling's just so demanding.
It's such a
physically.
young sport.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It is. So he ends up just really taking me by the hand and understanding like singular devotion to something. Back then he did tape study, which wasn't a huge deal, but literally watching the Russians wrestle and some of the tapes, his nemesis was this guy Kadartsev. And you look and watch the tapes and you go, I don't see anything. Once you slowed it down, you go, you can't move him out of position. He doesn't, when he attacks and retreats, he's never out of position. And, you know, you look at it and go, wow. Because it was just these little things that
It's
made
so
the
amazing
difference.
that the Russians achieved that level in not just wrestling, but also in MMA, also in any combat sports. Name
Yeah.
boxing.
Yeah.
Russian kickboxers are super technical.
Yeah.
They're all known for being so technical. It's really interesting. Mm-hmm. You know, like
And again, I would think that somewhere in there's a root, there's a common, like there's coaches and mentors. Because the only way I've learned how to wrestle or MMA is through mentorship. You know, somebody really going, hey, let me show you. And they had a mentor, and they had a mentor. It's this lineage that's passed along. And I know I went from being a good wrestler to being a really good wrestler when Chris took me under his wing. You know, we would drill the same thing thousands of times, and it would be like the difference between holding my hand here and holding it here. And I'd go, it's 2 inches.
Right.
What's the difference? And he would go, when you speed it up to full speed, those 2 inches become 6. Right? And so
the leverage points.
yeah. And so I need him to be here, perfect. Because once you go full speed, you're going to miss it, but you're only going to miss it by this much.
You know, it's interesting that Georges St. Pierre, although he never wrestled in high school or college, his training in Montreal was with Russian wrestlers. It was all Russian nationals who had
I didn't
moved to
know that.
Canada. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
GSP, I was just talking to a friend of mine, and I said he's probably, in my book, 1 or 2.
Yeah, of all time.
Yeah.
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 He's certainly in the conversation. It's so hard to say who because, you know, Mighty Mouse, I think, never got the credit that he deserved
Yeah.
because he was a 125er. And then people forget how good Anderson was when he was in his
Oh, my
prime.
God,
People,
yeah.
And then BJ Penn when he was in his prime. I feel like you really have to look at a guy when he's redlining, like when he's really at the peak of
Peak of
his
what he is,
abilities.
yeah.
You can't judge them by the fights they fight after their prime.
Yeah.
You can't, because it's not fair. You just got to say, like, who, when they were champion, when they were running shit,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
exhibited a level of MMA that's above and beyond everyone else. And George is certainly in that conversation.
Oh, he's for sure. I mean, part of what I like John Jones, right? Like when you get somebody that's at that level at his peak, right? And he can make other professional fighters look like they're amateurs.
They look silly.
Yeah.
They don't belong in there.
Like,
and he was
not
doing
close.
that to guys when he wasn't training. That was
Yeah,
what's
which
crazy.
is crazy.
He was fucking off and barely in the gym and still dominating in world title fights.
Sometimes I get a little upset because I'm like, you know how many fights he probably, as a spectator, as a fan, like how many fights we missed because of
His shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just like, just
But
like,
it's also, I mean, you know, what happened with you and what happened with him and what happens with a lot of guys is like the pressure of life sometimes, and what makes you a great fighter in the first place, there's a certain wildness.
Yeah.
And with a guy like John, that wildness, it's like it's hard to keep on a leash.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know how that feels.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Well, I remember I had no idea, and I don't think anybody had any idea until the Smashing Machine documentary came
Yeah.
out. And when that documentary came out, everybody was like, holy shit. First of all, kudos to you for allowing people to see you like that.
Thank you.
Raw, completely honest about all of the addiction problems, everything. And no one would have expected it. When they saw you, they just saw this fucking dominant destroyer, this guy who was like smashing everybody, and you just thought, oh, well, that guy's just, he's just a machine and just so mentally strong, and he just gets out there and gets it done. And then you allowed them to show you where in the making of the documentary, it was what they were essentially trying to capture was you at your prime.
Yeah.
And what they caught you was you where your life was falling apart just fortuitously.
Yeah.
It was just
Oh,
kind
my
of
God.
random luck they caught you at that time.
So when John Greenhall, who's the producer, I went to Syracuse with him. We were on the wrestling team together. He's the one that called me. He said, "Hey, I want to do a documentary." At that point, my vision of what it was a little Best Buy camera where they're like little flip screen, and they show up and they go, "Okay, we're filming a documentary. I know I got to change tape, you know." And they show up in Japan for my Volchanchin fight with two 10,000, 15,000, whatever they were, digital Sony cameras, a boom mic, and like 5 people. I'm like, oh fuck, you're really gonna make a documentary. And so he was right from the get-go. John could see what was the contrast, like me as a fighter and me as a person, that contrast. And so that's what he was after is like to really show this contrast, and like you can do this for a living and be this kind, sensitive, you know.
But that
person
was
on the
what
other
was
side of
weird
that.
about you. It was a very weird contrast. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're very soft-spoken, very kind, always very considerate to people, very nice. And then you get into the cage, and it's like, who the fuck is that guy?
You know what the feeling is? The feeling is like, the question I always had in my head is going, okay, if somebody's going to go, you, me, in a room, who the fuck's coming out? And I never was able to answer that question for myself. I know I was competitive, right? But I didn't know if I had that switch, that thing, and then start fighting and going, oh, fuck, man, there's a switch in there. And I figured through that process, what I was really trying to get is your will. I was trying to take your fucking will. And most people don't want to give it.
Right.
Like when you get a high-level fighter, it's like Fabio Gugel didn't want to give me his will. Headbutted him, dug into cuts, did all this, beat him mercilessly, and he didn't want to give me his will. He wouldn't give it to me. And it frustrated me. I didn't know how to take it from him. I'm out of answers.
You're waiting for him to break.
Yeah,
And he doesn't break.
he doesn't break.
Yeah, some people don't break. You can break their body, but their will, you can't break.
No, he was one of them. He was one of them, and it's just still to this day. I mean, the next day, his wife calls me, and I have lunch at his house.
Wow.
Which was crazy because my first fights, don't know. Everybody in the audience was there for him. And when his wife calls me the next day, I literally go, oh, fuck, man, here it is. He's going to have all his boys up at the house. He's gonna fucking get his due, right? Like, because I didn't know.
Right.
And so I go, okay, what do I got to lose? And so I go up and we sit down just like we're sitting here, and his wife interprets the whole entire time, and it was actually beautiful. It was beautiful because
That's awesome.
Here's what it set for me. It set a standard of how I was going to carry myself as a fighter. What happened in the ring is in the ring.
Right.
The second you're out, that's different.
Well, that speaks to his character, why you couldn't break his will in the first place,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Because he's such just locked down. Yeah.
Absolutely. It was, for me, it was one of those like revelations of like, okay, this is how you do this.
As a professional.
Yeah.
Well, also like Brazil had a much longer history of
Yeah.
these kind of fights, like going way back to the Helio Gracie days and
Yeah.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. When you have a problem, when you're feeling down, it's nice having someone to turn to, like a partner who could cheer you up, a friend to vent to, a parent who can give you advice. Even having a nice conversation with a stranger can be uplifting. Whoever you like to turn to, though, probably won't have all the answers. That's where therapy comes in. There are some things that you can get from therapy you can't get anywhere else. Like if you're struggling with anxiety or depression, a therapist can help you develop positive coping skills. Or if you're struggling with how to be kinder to yourself, therapy can help you take a step in the right direction. And thanks to BetterHelp, matching with a credentialed therapist is easier than ever. Just head online to fill out a short questionnaire, and BetterHelp will set you up with a therapist based on your needs. If for any reason it's not a good fit, you can switch to another therapist at no extra cost. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/JRE. That's BetterHelp.com/JRE.
I mean,
Carlos
it culturally
Gracie, yeah.
understanding way different. And that's like okay, I'm going to carry myself. Part of it was, I wanted to change the narrative of like, when you looked at the early UFCs, it looked like some guys were just scraped off a bar stool and thrown into the octagon, right? And so when I came there, I was like, okay, I want to be considered professional, right? I want to carry myself as a professional. I'm going to be articulate. I'm going to dress as a professional. Because I wanted to up the ante. I wanted to like raise the standard, right? And especially when I went to Japan, it's like, press conference, everybody's in sweatsuits. I'm in I couldn't afford it, but I was in a $1,000 Calvin Klein suit that I had put on a charge card, right? But I wanted to change the narrative. I wanted to be a professional. Because if I was a professional and treated like a professional, I could ask for pay like a professional. Not like some dude that was just scraped off a bar stool and thrown into a ring.
So what was the Pride experience like? So you had fought in the UFC, and then did you have a contract that expired? Like, what happened?
So, oh boy, so I signed a 3-fight tournament deal with the UFC. I did 14 and 15, and I still had one tournament obligation on the contract. So after 15, the Japanese had seen enough footage, and I got contacted by Pride, and they're like, "Hey, we want to fly you over. We want to have you as a key piece to build this organization." So I'm like, okay. So they fly me first class over, first class hotel. I meet with a guy named Mr. Ishizaka, who his real name is Kim Duk-soo. He's a Korean guy, and Mr. Ishii, who owned K1.
Wait a minute, a Korean dude was pretending to be Japanese?
You had to have a Japanese name.
Whoa.
You couldn't do business in Japan without a Japanese name.
That's crazy.
He
So
signed
just
all
changed
of his
name?
documents, legal documents, Kim Duk-soo.
Wow.
But every single person called him Mr. Ishizaka.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he had to learn Japanese.
Yeah. And it's still with an accent because he spoke Korean too. So it's just one of those where understanding like the culture back then, just it was still stuck, and hadn't really progressed.
Wow.
So Mr. Ishii owned K1 and Mr. Ishizaka started Pride. And it was called KRS at the beginning before it turned into Dream Stage.
Oh.
And so here's where it gets a little sticky. So I go over there. I take, for Pride 2, it's supposed to be me and Royce Gracie. Him and I there's still fight posters that I've signed of him and I facing off with each other, signed the contract to fight for way more money than was being paid for in the UFC. And when I get back to the States, I get served with papers to appear in court in New York City. The UFC suing me. It's when Bob Meyerowitz still owned it, and Art Davis was involved, and so they were suing me for breach of contract. And it was like one of those things where I was like, okay, I didn't, like one of those experiences where I was like, oh shit, and the Japanese said, okay, we still want you. You need to sort this out. So it took 5 months to sort out the differences between what the UFC needed and if they're going to let me go and all this other stuff. And in that time frame, Hoist got hurt. And so Hoist had to step out, and they put Bronco Sigete in there, and I ended up fighting Bronco and Pride too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if everything would have went as everything, I would have fought Hoist Gracie in the Tokyo Dome. Him and I main event, me at my peak, Hoist still in his prime.
Wow. That would have been insane.
Oh my God, it would have been like thinking about it going, because people have asked like, who would have won? I'm like, I don't fucking know. But I would have given it every single thing I could. Wow. That's it. That's the poster.
Wow.
Yeah. Signed, inked, everything.
You had at least 80 pounds on him.
Oh, at least that.
Yeah.
But this is it. This is the transition from not knowing what I was getting into, going, I can't fucking carry that much weight at all and be cardiovascularly. I just can't do it.
What were you at your heaviest?
280, 285.
Jeez.
Like 6% body fat.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's hard to breathe.
Oh, brutal. Like if I didn't fucking get a hold of you and fucking squeeze the life out of you in the first like couple minutes, I was fucked. I was completely fucked,
Yeah. Well, that was kind of the case with Coleman as well. Like when he was really, really big.
I was in the corner when he
lost.
When I was cornering him when he lost to Maurice Smith.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was there for that one. That was a real game changer.
Oh, that changed the narrative for everything.
Because what Maurice brought to the game was Maurice was training with Frank Shamrock at the time, and so he had extreme cardio. He was doing a lot of swimming. He was running hills. I mean, he was really cardiovascularly at an elite level for an MMA fighter at the time.
Frank and I used to talk about heart rate training way back when. Like literally like functional training, and going, okay, how do you approach something and come up with a formula where you can get through a training camp and still be viable at the end of that training camp when you have 5-minute rounds, right? How do you do it? There wasn't a formula for it,
right?
So Frank was like, I started doing this heart rate training and heart rate recovery and all this stuff, and I was like, oh shit. And then I would run into these trainers when I was in California. At Gold's Venice, there's a guy named T.R. Goodman, and he was training hockey players. And hockey players have to have that burst recovery. Wow, very similar cardiovascular system to fighters. So TR took over my training when I was in California, and that was a whole nother level because I'd never really had the functional training implemented the way he did, and that's when my weight came down. It's like I really tried to fight between like 235 and 240 was ideal.
Yeah, that's much better. That seems like the ideal heavyweight.
It is. It is.
It's very weird that, first of all, that the heavyweight division has a weight limit.
Yeah.
That is
weird.
My
God, it's really weird.
Especially the UFC. Because it doesn't really in Japan and some other organizations. They'll allow the super heavyweight division. And in boxing, you can be as heavy as you want. Like Tyson Fury's been 290 before. God. But when the UFC has this 265-pound weight division, it seems like the best elite guys are like that 240 range.
That's, for me, that was, like, I knew I had a good training camp if I came in 235, 240. If I didn't train hard enough, I was 250. If I overtrained, I was under 230. Like for Pride Grand Prix, I think I weighed in at 229. Because right before that,
felt overtrained?
I felt overtrained because in between when I fought Ensign and the Pride Grand Prix, I did Abu Dhabi.
Oh.
And so I won my weight class that year, and I won the all-around.
So you got super conditioned.
Oh,
for
my
that.
God, super conditioned. But you lose. I lost a little bit of what I needed was that physical dominance. You know, I could have the endurance, but again, it's one of those where it's like going into it when I fought Fujita, there's so many factors that were just, you know, that I didn't account for. And my calorie intake just wasn't where it needed to be. And like a lot of times leading up to a fight, like my appetite just diminishes as I get towards it, especially that fight week. And
That's interesting. Why do you think that is?
nerves.
Right.
It gets to a
Makes
point
sense.
where it's like that morning, I know like fight morning, I have a small little window where I could digest food or I could take food in. It's not like I could sit and eat all day.
And then the nerves start kicking
Yeah,
in. And you
it just starts kicking in like literally, and it's controlled focus, right? Because it's like I can't have all my nerves running everywhere, but it's controlled focus. But that controlled focus, my body goes, I don't need digestion. Fuck, I'm about to fight. What the fuck do I need to digest food for?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of guys have made those mistakes. Aljamain Sterling said he made that mistake when he first fought Piotr Jan. He didn't eat. Just
It's
couldn't eat.
brutal. So that last scene against Fujita is as 100% hypoglycemic crash, laying there, can't move my body. And if you watch the documentary, what I'm saying on the way back is, I need sugar, I need sugar, I need sugar. That's all I could think about was like, I need sugar, I need sugar, I need sugar. Because my blood sugar levels had just crashed to this, like, I can't fucking move.
Jeez. It's so crazy, too, to watch the evolution of the training methods from back then, from 97 to like what we're seeing today.
Yeah. Oh, incredible.
It is really extraordinary because there's not another sport that has gone through that much of a metamorphosis. Not even close, really.
In that time frame, because it's a short time frame.
Very.
Because again, it's asking the question of like, okay, championship fight, 25 minutes, 5-minute rounds. How do you train for it?
Right. Because the reality is no one can go full blast for 5-minute rounds.
Can't do it.
Maybe Marab can.
I wouldn't fucking doubt that. He might be the one.
Be the only guy because he doesn't seem to get tired.
So this is like observationally, usually in a championship fight, if it's a striker against a wrestler, usually the first 2 rounds, strikers usually have that advantage. In the third round, if you go back and watch this third round, the grappler starts to impose a little bit more on him.
Right. They
And then
can't stop the takedown.
fourth and fifth round is the grappler completely just takes that fight over because it's one of those things where it's that grind.
Yes.
It's
also
fucking grind.
a big part of being able to stuff takedowns. You want some coffee?
Yeah, thank you.
A big part of being able to stuff takedowns is having energy.
Oh, my
'Cause
God, it's
like,
everything.
If a guy's trying to fuck you up and take you down, there's so much energy involved in trying to stuff a takedown. And then when you don't have it, you're like, I'm just let him take me down. And just like take a break here and then work back to the. But no, like with some guys, like you're not getting back up. You're just gonna get elbowed in the face.
I'm just gonna grind you into a pulp, and that's that control thing, right?
Yeah.
Part of what I go, like, if I look at my fight and go, I was never going to be the best striker, like never going to be the best kicker, puncher, but if I could turn you into a wrestler, that was the secret sauce for me.
Yeah.
I just need to make you wrestle me.
Yeah.
And I'm good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I know I can fucking beat the fuck out of you wrestling.
Yeah.
The key
Well,
was transitioning to make you wrestle me.
Yeah, it's the specialist thing. It's like if you want to be a specialist, being a specialist at wrestling is by far. When you see what Hamzat did to Drickus.
Oh my
when he's
God,
like-
Hamzat, and that's the example
Yeah,
I get. That's
perfect example.
elite wrestler.
Against a world champion MMA fighter who's been dominating everybody and who's very difficult to take down. And Hamzat just ramped it up, kept it up.
Attack, and like I was saying, that Russian, Dagestan, Uzbekistan, it's this ability to sustain an attack repeatedly because it's that cardiovascular system. I'm born at 6,000 feet in altitude, 7,000 feet in altitude, a little bit more of an advantage, right? And so you end up with these attacks where you can sustain them beyond your ability to defend them.
It's also having such a technical game that as you're implementing the first attack, you've already got 3 attacks on
attacks on it.
standby. And then as he
Yeah,
counters, you've anticipated the counter. You have a counter to his counter, and then a counter to his readjusting after your counter.
Oh.
And you're just hitting him over and over. He just can't keep the rhythm.
I text my son. I was at that fight. I text my son and go, this is what an elite wrestler could do to a professional fighter.
It's nuts. It's nuts because it was like a lot of people thought it was boring because it just didn't get to a decision. It just went to a decision. But you just kind of appreciate that level of dominance against a world champion. It's kind of crazy. Where the guy before the fight, Drekus, was being looked at as one of the greatest middleweights of all time. I mean, look at what he did to all these guys. He knocks out Robert Whittaker. He beats Adesanya. He fucking beats Sean Strickland twice. Like, oh my God, he might be one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And then after that fight, you're like, I don't think he's ever going to beat that guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever going to beat that guy.
Isn't that crazy?
It was like, I don't think there's enough time in the world to bridge that gap.
You can't. You can never catch up.
Yeah.
You know, like I would never pretend stepping into the octagon that I would be able to get elite striking skills, right? You know, like that gap could just, it's constantly just something you never can get to.
It's also,
you know, it's like Sean O'Malley, right?
Uh-huh.
The only way that he's going to be able to get a championship back is somebody else needs to beat
Merab.
Yeah, Merab.
Yeah. And then it's got to be stylistically
match up, right? That's
Yeah.
that conflict of matchup because skills you're not going to do that.
I mean, he got better for the second
He
fight.
did
but
a lot better, but still.
So did Merab, though. That was part of the problem. That guy's he's not stopping.
God, how old is he?
Merab? I think he's 34. How old is Merab? Merab Dvalishvili. 34.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 34. So he's in his prime right now. In his prime for another few years at least.
Yeah, I would think that it's one where there's going to be a lot of people that think they can, but that's just a different animal.
Yeah, it's going to take someone who's that kind of a wrestler who maybe has a striking advantage.
Yeah.
Who could beat him.
Yeah.
But then,
That's an anomaly.
it's just, it's such a crazy sport to watch that, from 1994 to 2025, it's almost unrecognizable. The difference in the gap.
Like there was a period of time where I couldn't watch. I didn't watch the UFC probably about like 7, 8, 9 years, and over the last 5, 6 years, I watched it almost religiously, right? And just realizing the fighters today, oh my God, man, they hit a level, and it's that mutation. It's like this first generation, second generation,
Yes.
and they're advancing so fast that you're looking at these new fighters, you're like, it's such a unique set of skills to do this. Incredible set of skills. Unique to any other sport in the world.
I know it's also, you're really fighting 3 different sports as one sport.
Yeah.
Which is really nuts. You're fighting grappling, you're fighting
Jiu-jitsu,
jiu-jitsu, and you're fighting
striking.
striking all together in one sport. It's like, wow.
It's like playing soccer, football, and baseball at the same time. It's like, how the fuck would you do it?
Yeah. While getting kicked.
While getting kicked.
While getting kicked and punched and elbowed. It is, but without guys like you, it would have never gotten here. Because if there weren't people that were willing to fight for very little money, travel overseas, have these crazy events, and beat your body up and do what you did and what Coleman did and a lot of those guys did in the beginning. Without you guys, there is no UFC today. It's just not. It's not the same.
It was, one, like being in the Hall of Fame and being in the Pioneer Wing and understanding that, like I said to myself, even if I advance a sport, this much, it needed this much at the time to get to where it is today, right? Like Coleman advanced a sport this much.
Well, you guys brought in the new element, and the new element was elite wrestling with enormous muscles.
Yeah.
and everybody was like, this is a real problem.
Yeah.
And especially in the early days, because Coleman would get on your guard and just headbutt the fuck out of you. Because headbutts were legal. Yeah.
Legal.
And bare knuckle. Like when I first did I interviewed him after he beat Dan Severn when he became the first UFC heavyweight champion. Total bare knuckle.
Yeah.
He had a little bit of tape on the hands, try to keep the bones from snapping in half.
Isn't
was
that's frightening?
Wild.
Like people, they watch it now, and this film, right? It gives people a little bit of a look inside of like what it was, and for me, the cool part about it is understanding, like I said, I'm just a little piece. but that little piece is necessary to be able for me to watch some of the guys do what they do now.
Well, it's different than any other sport in that these little pieces had to be there before people could figure out what to do.
Yeah. Well,
And then-
Dana put them all together.
Yeah.
You know, when I actually talked to him when I was in Newark, that's one thing I said. I said, look what you built. You can feel however you want about, him look what you built.
Yeah.
Like no one could even imagine this.
Well, you have to be a madman to do what he does. Like that guy works so hard and he works so many hours and he fucking loves it. And he loves the sport, like truly loves the sport. He and I have like long conversations on the phone
I would imagine.
about fights.
I would imagine.
Just about like, I'll go, what are you going to do about this guy? Oh, when's that? When's this happening? Is this true? Did this guy really get hurt? He did. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh
Is he
my
out?
God.
Oh, it's
I know.
minor. Okay, 6 weeks. Are you rescheduling it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
We have these long ass conversations, and I'll tell him about kickboxers that I've been watching, or tell him about these guys. I mean, that's one of the ways that we became friends, and one of the ways that I started working for him in the first place is because we would have conversations when I first met him when I was on Fear Factor and I wasn't even working for the UFC. I'd be like, you watch the fights in Japan? Do you ever watch Japan Valley Tudo? Do you know about this guy? Do you know about Hicks and Gracie? Do you know about this guy?
Yeah.
And I would just rattling off different
my
names.
God.
And he was like, what? What do you... How do you know all this? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know the rules to basketball. I don't know what's happening. I know when the ball goes in the net, it's good. I don't know the rules to football. I don't know the rules to anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I only have room for combat sports. But,
Yeah, oh my
ask
God.
me about Marcelo Garcia. Ask
Yeah,
me
yeah,
about...
I can answer
I'll
those.
rattle off
Yeah.
some
Oh my
stats. I know
God.
some shit about fighting. But to me, it was Eddie Bravo and I, when we were kids, when we were young fellas, when we were hanging around working out, we would say to ourselves, like, you know what this sport needs? Some crazy billionaires who love the sport that's just going to dump a bunch of money. Because we knew at the time, we were like, this is the most exciting sport in
Yeah,
the world,
yeah.
right? So all it needs is for these really rich guys to be fans of the sport. And it's almost like it manifested itself because that's what happened. The Fertittas came along. And they were just really rich guys who loved the sport, and they took a crazy chance. They were $40 million in the hole.
Debt, yeah.
$40 million
God.
in the hole on the UFC, and it was just losing money, and they just hung in there year after year after year until they were almost ready to fucking sell, and then they decided to go forward with The Ultimate Fighter.
That's the game changer.
That was it.
That
2005.
That personalized it.
Yes.
That personalized it.
Well, people got to see it on Spike TV, and then the fights were so wild that people were calling their friends,
Yeah.
and they were saying, "You got to watch this." So as the show is on, and this is like before social media
Yeah,
was really
all
a thing.
that. Yeah.
So as the fight was on, the ratings kept going up and up and up and up. And it was like Spike TV was like, holy shit, we
Shit,
got
we're
a
onto
fucking hit.
something.
We got a
Yeah.
hit.
Yeah.
And Diego Sanchez won the 185-pound division. And then the fight between Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin
That's the fight that changed everything.
changed the game.
Because that's one of those, if you ask just a marginal fan, they'll refer to that.
Exactly.
They'll refer to that.
Because at the time, it was nobody had ever seen anything like it. They
Yeah.
didn't know what MMA was.
Yep.
And here it is on TV, and these two guys were so evenly matched. That was the best part about it. They both had trained together in the house for all those fucking weeks.
Yep.
They'd all be talking shit to each other and all that, and they knew they were going to fight in the final, so it was like this long build-up, and they were
Yeah.
perfectly matched.
Yeah.
And it was just bang, 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 fucking
Yeah.
swing, wheel kick, punch,
Oh,
takedown.
I mean, there's so much shit in there.
That fight just went on, and at the end of it, the whole crowd was like, "Oh!"
Yes!
And
Yeah.
I was the one. I was the first person to suggest. I was like, they both should have a fucking contract. This is
Yeah.
crazy. You
Yeah.
can't take a contract away from one of these guys for this fight. And Dana, to his credit, gave both
Gave
those
both of
guys the
them.
contract.
Yeah.
And it was all of a sudden the sport was hot, and then Chuck Liddell was the poster boy.
Yeah.
Because he was the perfect guy to be the most famous champion at the time.
Yeah.
Because he was a destroyer.
Oh, God,
He
he
would
was
just seek
unreal.
and destroy. And he had an iron chin, and he would just stare at you with a fucking serial killer's eyes, and just
You know what?
march.
When you watched him, like me watching him, he was so awkward when he held his hands and punched. It was so, like even watching it now, going, he was just hunting. He was
Yep,
just hunting.
yeah,
And hunting.
and loading up
and
with
he would
everything.
hunt, and it wasn't like,
No,
It was every single thing was thrown with intent.
Yeah, everything was thrown to
brutal.
shut you off.
Oh,
And he could do it, and he could do it for 5 fucking rounds too, which was crazy.
which is
In his
yeah.
prime, the thing about that style is it's unsustainable. He never ducked a punch in his life. He took him right in the chin and fucking and blasted right through. He had an iron jaw. It was fucking iron.
Yeah.
But everybody's iron jaw gives out after a
It
while.
does.
It just
it
you
does.
can't, and
you
he trained
can't
that way
sustain.
too.
You can't sustain it. It's just one where.
Yeah.
So when the Fertittas first bought the UFC, I was living in California, and a friend of mine who was helping me at the time said, "Hey, listen, they're up at Big Bear having a training camp." I'm like, "Okay, let's go up." So get my truck, drive up. It starts snowing. It was like February. They were going to do their first big push with Tito, right? And I get hit by a drunk driver at 11 a.m. in the morning on the way up. So my attorney was in the car with us. Literally, the tow truck takes us up to the top of the hill. I still get to talk to Dana. I still get to talk to Frank and Lorenzo. And I'm like, yeah, I got hit by a drunk driver. Like, well, we're going to Beverly Hills Wilshire tomorrow. Why don't you just jump in the limo with us and we'll take you down? I'm like, okay. So I get like this 3-hour drive down the mountain with Frank and Lorenzo, the new owners of the UFC.
Wow.
And we're just sitting there talking. They're like, hey, how is it working in Japan? They knew everything about me. Yeah, how is it working in Japan? How do they do this? How do they do that? And it was just this really cool conversation, really cool experience to be able to go, okay, maybe this has landed in the right spot.
Oh, they were the right guys. They were the right guys because they were like Frank and Lorenzo are rabid fans.
Yeah.
Like rabid.
Yeah.
And they would train and they would beat the fuck out of each other. And that's where they met Frank. They brought Frank in to help them. They've kind of erased Frank. So Frank Shamrock, in my opinion, is one of the all-time greats. And also one of the most important in terms of the metamorphosis, in terms of the evolution of the sport. Because Frank was the first guy with elite cardio that could do everything. He could submit you off his back. Like, remember when he fought Kevin Jackson? Caught him in an armbar, bang, first round, right off his... He was elite everywhere. And his cardio was off the charts. When he fought Tito Ortiz, Tito was much bigger than him.
Yeah.
Not just a little bit bigger than him. Frank's not a big frame guy.
No.
And Tito is a fucking house.
Tito's,
right? And he just overwhelmed him, beat him down with cardio. And then after that fight... Tito taught everybody cardio is number one. It's number one. Yeah. When he was coaching on The Ultimate Fighter, he told everybody, it's fucking cardio.
Yeah.
Without cardio, you have nothing. And his cardio was legendary, too.
I mean, they say fatigue makes cowards of us all, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, it's just one of those, and again, this goes back to what I was saying about Frank and I having conversations back then about heart rate training. 25 years ago, you go, heart rate, what? Like little polar, watch and, keep, and like, oh, we need to recover this many beats in a minute, but actively recover. Right. Like you had to still continue to do shit and recover. And this is what Frank was saying. Yeah, I started doing this. I'm like, what the fuck?
He was a very smart, he is a very smart guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they had some kind of a falling out, but they don't highlight him anymore. They don't talk about him at all, and I think that's
pivotal. I
think you got to let that go, just for the honor of what happened, the honor of the sport. Because for the honor of the sport, when you look at Frank, like when you look at his fights, like he was elite, man. He was
ahead of his time.
He was ahead of his time
by far.
He was the first really truly complete mixed martial artist.
I agree.
And people see him like the fight that he fought when he was fighting in Strikeforce. You're not seeing the same guy. You're seeing him, it's later in his life. You see when he fought Nick Diaz. You can't, it's like what I said about GOATs.
Yeah.
You want to look at BJ Penn? You look at BJ Penn when he fought Sean Shirk.
Yeah.
Look at BJ Penn when he fought Big Daddy Stevenson. That's one of the scariest fucking guys who's ever stepped in an octagon at 155 pounds, period. I put him with all of them, and I don't know what happens. And then there's Khabib. Same sort. You put that guy with any 155-pounder who's ever existed, and I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
How are you going to beat that guy?
Yeah.
There's a few guys like that, and Khabib has to be in that conversation too. When you look at his dominance over, like, the way he was winning fights, I'll never forget when he fought Edson Barbosa. It was in the first round, and Edson had this look in his eyes like, oh, my God, I've got to get through how many more rounds with this motherfucker? Because he was just already exhausted, and this fucking animal from Dagestan was just just on him, dragging him to the ground.
God, man.
I'll never forget. We had Michael Johnson down the ground. He's beating Michael Johnson up, and he's like, "Quit! You know I need title shot is mine. You know title shot is mine.
my
you know I
God.
deserve this. Quit!" And he's just beating the fuck out of him, trying to be
Wow.
nice. He gets him in Kimura, and I'm going, "Please
Just
tap."
tap.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Please tap,
Yeah.
please tap," because I'm seeing that spiral fracture.
Oh, my
when they get that
God.
spiral
Yeah,
fracture,
yeah,
I'm
yeah. Oh,
seeing
my
it coming. I'm
God.
like, "Please tap." We'd already been through that with Frank. When Frank got Minotauro in that.
Yeah,
Here it
oh
is.
my
He's
God.
talking to him. He's like, "Listen, give me some volume. I need to fight for the title. You know I deserve this. Come on, buddy. I don't want to have to hurt you."
Oh my God.
Look at this. I mean, he's
I've never
doing
seen
what
this.
But this speaks to your point. See, everybody agrees. The people are cheering. Look. I need to fight for it. Look at he's trying to be nice to him. That's such dominance.
It is.
Trying to be nice to a nice guy. Like, come on, you know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And again, to his credit, he didn't. I think he could have just fucking ripped that arm apart. He let him tap. I think
Wow.
he was so dominant,
this is
man.
like, again, we're saying like taking somebody's fucking will.
He was a will taker. Like
Oh
when he
my
did to
God.
Connor,
Oh.
when he got on top of Connor, he's like, "Let's talk now. Let's talk now." Just beating his face in, going, "Come on, you want to talk? Let's talk
God,
now."
man. You talk about humble pie, like fucking having to sit back and like,
Yeah.
because that's at a level where because you're a bad motherfucker to begin with, and somebody that's even a badder motherfucker
Who just dominates you.
just oh my God,
Just could kill you. Same size as you, and basically he could kill you. If he
oh
wanted
my
to, you're
God.
dead.
Yeah.
You're not going to live. He's going to live.
He could just literally choke you unconscious and just keep choking you till you're.
He was going to break his neck. He had him in that fulcrum choke. That is such a nasty choke. Look, here's where he gets it. So he's getting it, and he's holding on to it. Look, he's
Oh
not
God.
he's not going all through.
No,
if he
no,
wanted
no.
to,
He
could
could have just ripped it
drop
off.
that right hip
Yeah.
down, pull that left arm up, and that thing's snapping like a twig. It's so scary.
Oh, my God.
That's my scariest other than guys when they break their shins.
Yeah.
When they
oh
go
my
shin
God.
to
Yeah,
knee and the
to
shin
knee.
snaps in half.
Like Silva breaking is like.
Oh, it was
you know,
horrible. Weidman was the worst.
That stuff. One watch is good enough.
It was
That's good
so
enough.
when Weidman's
You don't
was
need to
so
pull. You don't need to
loud.
pull that one. Off.
And Weidman, don't pull that one. Weidman's went through his calf.
Yeah.
His bones
No,
snapped
no,
through
no.
and poked out of
Yeah.
his calf. Oh, which is real dangerous too, because then you run the risk of heavy infection.
Yeah, all of that.
All that.
Oh.
You're on the dirty mat. You got an open wound, and
No, some of that stuff is just like, gosh, man, it's other
do
level.
you feel weird that you did it? Like now, when you look back on it,
Yeah.
you've been removed for so long. You're like, you beat the fuck out of somebody. I remember when you took Dan Bobish down. You stuck your chin in his
my
eyeball.
God, man! First, the only one still exists.
Yeah.
Right, is the submission by chin and eyeball choke.
Yeah.
I don't know if you call it choke, but
I'd never seen anybody do that before. I'm like, that's genius.
you know what? It wasn't illegal,
It wasn't illegal.
and I know it hurt like a motherfucker for
Well,
him.
why would it be illegal? Why is it okay to elbow the eyeball, but it's not okay to shove your chin in there?
Chin, I don't know.
You know, and those are the headbutt days.
Oh,
so
yeah.
headbutts were
Oh,
legal.
yeah.
So why wouldn't it be legal
Yeah.
to? You could chin butt a guy if you wanted to, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you use, I mean, but the thing is, it's a real weapon.
Yeah.
It is real. It's
Yeah.
very effective. Like I don't think we should poke to eyes because you
Yeah.
know, that'd
Yeah,
be
that's a
crazy.
different
The eyes
thing.
are so
Yeah.
vulnerable. But that is also obviously a real weapon. Like kung fu guys point to that all the time. They go, "Look, these guys are the toughest fighters in the world. You poke them in the eyes and they're fucked." They're right.
Yeah.
They're right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how good you are
Yeah.
at eye poking. You have to be pretty fucking accurate.
Yeah, you have to be
That's not
really
something you
good.
can count on.
No.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
You shoved your fucking chin right in his eyeball.
And he's just like,
Bro.
And I know. So when I'm down there, I could hear him. Like,
Oh, yeah.
fuck, that hurt.
Oh, it was horrible, dude. It was horrible. But
Yeah.
it speaks to what we were talking about, the dominance of elite wrestling and how elite wrestling, it surpasses all martial arts. It's
Yeah.
the number one most, and an elite wrestler can learn jujitsu.
Yeah.
Okay, an elite grappler you could easily teach them how to do head and arm chokes, triangles,
all that, yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
already used to manipulating
So
bodies.
part of my participation in ADCC was to represent wrestling. right?
Yeah.
Because the first year when I got approached to go over there, I'm like, what is that? Like submission grappling, like Gilas grappling or Gilas jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And they're like, hey, listen, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you X, come over. And it wasn't a ton. It was like $15,000 to go over. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right. He's like, fuck, I don't know.
But while you were fighting.
Yeah, while I was fighting. And so I'm like, okay. I just go.
Just as a source of pride?
It was one of those where I was like, okay, now that it's explained to me, I go, well, wrestlers need to be represented there, right?
Yes.
And so I go over there, and it was one of those things where it's like, well, I can actually show everybody here in this world that thinks their shit's dominant, like, no. This is a skill set you need. You need elite wrestling skills, right? You can have jiu-jitsu, black belt, and all this stuff, but if you're missing this piece component to it, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
And so it was all about control.
Did you see the most recent fight with Mauricio Rufy?
No.
Okay, so Mauricio Rufy, who is one of the most dynamic strikers in the sport, he's literally like a big Connor. I mean, it doesn't make sense that he's in the same weight class as Connor because I think he's 6'1".
Oh.
But he's real tall. He's at least 6 feet tall. He's real tall and long and just elite striker. But he fought this cat, Benoit Saint-Denis, who is a judo black belt, elite on the ground, super fucking strong, and he just dominated him, man. He got a hold of him, ragdolled him, got him to the ground. And Mauricio had his moments in the fight standing because Benoit Saint-Denis is a French Special Forces guy.
Yeah.
He's a hard motherfucker.
Yeah.
And so he did stand with Mauricio for a little bit, but he got dinged up a little bit. But once he got him to the ground, it was just full domination. God. And then it left everybody in this position where we were looking at Mauricio Rufy as being like, that guy's a future world champion.
Yeah.
To like, oh no, like that gap's too wide.
Yeah.
Like he's got to learn so much to be competitive with the elite. Now they're going to know.
Yeah.
Imagine like Camaro in his prime.
God, no, forget it.
Yeah,
and that's that gap we were talking about. Like there's no way to fucking make that up. There's not enough time in your career.
Well, we got
to
to
be
see
able to do that.
Camaro was like 38 now, okay, and he just fought Joaquin Buckley and dominated him.
Wow.
And Buckley's another one who was this guy who was dominating everybody at 170. He just knocked out Wonder Boy. And we're like, this fucking guy might be the one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 38-year-old Kamaru Usman shows how fucking important wrestling is. It's everything. It's everything.
Yeah.
Because you can be defensively responsible.
Yeah.
Like he's very defensively responsible standing. You know, other than the Leon Edwards kick, he very rarely gets cracked.
Yeah.
You know, Gilbert got him a little and dropped him, but very rarely gets in trouble standing. But once he gets you, the gap is so big.
God, you can't make that up.
The gap's so big.
Yeah, that's and again, this is one of these things where fundamentally also wrestling gives you a cardio base that you can build off of.
Yes.
Not only because that's the other missing component, right? It's like this. Because at an elite level, it's fucking intense. It is really intense. Like Kerr, when he was on your show, he's talking about, I trained till exhaustion and then I trained.
Yeah.
It's like that's how because at one point when Kurt and I were competing against each other, like 93, 94, I just was bigger, stronger, and I could just defend his attacks.
Bro, he won the Olympics with a broken neck.
Yeah, fuck, man.
With a broken neck.
Come on.
With a broken neck.
I was there at Nationals when he literally hit the mat, and I'm like literally I watched when his neck broke at Freestyle Nationals. And he got hit with an arm spin, and he gets arm thrown, and his head gets almost like separated. Oof. It was nasty. And I'm in the stands going, oh, fuck, he's not going to be in the trials. Like, there's no fucking way he's going to be in the trials. And sure enough, fucking like 5 weeks later, he's in the trials. I'm like, what the fuck, man? There's no way he should be fucking able to wrestle. None.
There are guys like that in the world, and people need to know. You need to know there's levels to everything, and there's levels to mental strength. There's levels to guys who just will go, and it's really kind of a crying shame. Look, he had an amazing career in WWE. He's loved by everyone.
Yeah.
Everybody loves him. That's great. But it's kind of sucks that people don't know, like, at real wrestling, that guy was the shit.
Oh, my God, man.
He was the shit. He was
unreal,
so good and
unreal.
small for a heavyweight.
He was so he was always undersized.
Yeah.
But like the years that I beat him, and then '95 when we wrestled in the Freestyle Nationals, and I beat him four times in a row at that point. So we wrestle in the '95 Freestyle Nationals, and I get a hold of him for the first time, and something was different. I was like, oh fuck, like wrestling going, oh man, something's different with Kurt. And he ends up beating me, and then in the Freestyle Nationals in '95, and I'm like, oh fuck. There was just something different. I'm like, because he could stay on an attack longer, He was stronger.
He hit a new gear.
He hit a gear that I didn't fucking have.
Wow.
Like I go, oh fuck. Like looking back on it, I'm going, oh shit, I totally missed that. Like most guys at 220 pounds, which you're wrestling at, they would have these attacks that they would initiate. It's like grab a hold of you, hold on to you, and then initiate an attack. Kurt was constantly probing and attacking and attacking.
Which was the benefit of being lighter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
lighter
strong.
and quicker. Lighter and quicker.
But still wicked strong.
Oh my God. He could still get in.
Yeah.
So it's these attacks that he just sustained, and he just wear you out of position. So just constant attack. And all of a sudden it was just this little angle that he was hunting for the whole time. And then he hits that attack and fucking takes you down. And you're like, fuck. Like, what the fuck?
It's just, there's levels of drive. There's
Yeah.
levels of
He
discipline.
had
There's
a
levels
gear.
of will. There's levels of wanting something. And that's what scares people, I think. That's why people get really terrified of like truly special athletes, because they don't want to know how lazy they really are. I think it's one of the things that drives people nuts about seeing like some insanely disciplined, like elite top of the food chain grappler or striker or whatever it is, MMA fighter, because it's like you don't want to know that someone's willing to work that much harder
than you are.
than you ever have, than you ever have at anything.
I know.
At anything.
Fuck. I mean, Kurt was one of the where he opened my eyes. Where I was like, fuck. There's another gear.
Yeah.
I thought I was training fucking hard.
That's what's crazy. We're kind of seeing, we've had this conversation recently in regards to Merab, because we're saying, okay, is Merab just physically gifted? Because I think Kane had some sort of a genetic advantage with cardio. Because DC would talk about how he would take 3 months off and come back in the gym and fuck everybody up with like cardio
Somebody
drills.
that size, it's an anomaly.
It's an anomaly.
It's an anomaly.
But Merab swears that when he was young, he had bad cardio. He said, "No, I smoke cigarettes."
I can imagine that.
That's what he
It's like
said.
Sakuraba smoking cigarettes.
He said he didn't take care of himself at all. I'm like, really? And it's just hard work and discipline. And then, so I have a bunch of friends who do 100-milers, you know,
God.
and, you know, I'm real good friends with my friend Cam Haynes. And Cam Haynes, he just did a 100-miler like 2 weeks before we went elk hunting. Like he does 100-milers all the time. He's done a 240. What is the Bigfoot 240? Is that what it is? He's done a bunch of these through the mountains with thousands of feet of elevation and decline. He's done a bunch of these that are 200-plus miles.
God, that's not.
And you got to build up to that. But once you get to that, if you're sustaining it, you can do those things. So he does those things on a regular basis. He does multiple ones a year. So you didn't used to think that was possible. They used to say that if you ran a marathon, like you were destroyed for like 2 weeks. No, he was running a marathon a day while he worked a full-time job. So he was getting up in the morning at dark. He was running 13 miles. He was going to work. During his lunchtime, he would eat. After lunch, after work, he runs another 13 fucking miles.
He would be one where I wouldn't want to look at him because I think I'm lazy.
That's the thing. That's why there's a thing about, like, I think I'm lazy and I love him. He's my friend, so I think I'm lazy when I like watch what he's doing. And Goggins is another one.
Yeah, oh my God.
Goggins is even more insane because he ain't doing it for nothing. He's not preparing for elk hunting.
Yeah.
He rarely even competes in races, but yet he's doing a level of cardio where he brings world champions like Israel Adesanya comes to train with him, and he's throwing up in a bucket. He can't keep up. And Goggins is 50.
Oh my God.
He's 50.
Wow.
How old is Goggins?
50.
50. 50!
Oh my God.
And he's got two terrible knees.
Oh my God.
He's had many knee surgeries.
my
His knees
God.
are destroyed. And he does not give a fuck. He forces them to work.
golly. So again, this is like, that's a level which is just exceptional.
Yeah.
Because there's just
What's a weird level?
It is, because that's a pocket. It's just a pocket of people that have that.
There's only a handful. There's only a handful like that guy, because it's not just that. He broke the world record chin-up competition once. Like he's done a ton of things that are just like physically insane. You know, he was a smoke jumper. He didn't even tell anybody about it. He did it just because it was hard. This is why he's famous. So while he was famous, they'd take him up in a helicopter and he'd fucking parachute to fight forest fires. Because it was hard to do.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting you, man.
Oh, my God.
He sent me a photo once. He texted me a photo of a grizzly bear track. And he goes, we just landed near this. I mean, it's a fucking track like that big. And he's out there with a backpack
and a fucking
and a
shovel.
Fighting fires. And only because it's hard. He's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
He's a multi-millionaire who's getting parachuted to fight fires. And here's the thing, man. If I didn't talk about it, and maybe I'm out of school, people wouldn't even know. You have to know that. Maybe he doesn't want people to know. They need to know that. That's fucking insane.
That is beyond insane. That's like one of those where it's like, you know, the wiring that exists in him, it doesn't happen by chance. That's you have this genetic ability.
But he was fat when he was young, and he was lazy. He was drinking milkshakes. He talks about it openly. He said the first time he decided to enlist, when he went like to go running, he couldn't even run around the block. He was totally out of shape. He has photos of it. He shows you. He's like, this is like, no, I made myself this. So this is my thinking about fighting. Like, have we just accepted that you can't really fight full blast for 5-minute rounds? Or is it that no one has built themselves up to a level where you can? Like when you were talking about how Kerr hit a new gear,
my God,
or with the gear that Merab is clearly on right now, or Hamza. There's that gear. What if like we're gonna push that even further, where there's guys that can sprint for 5-minute, like there's a few flyweights that can do that.
Yeah.
Like Pantoja can kind of sprint for 5-minute rounds.
He can go. So they'll eventually be a fighter that can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
And because it's just one where, like I was saying, from where I started from 25 years ago, and the training methods and how archaic they were, and how little knowledge was out there.
Right.
Now knowledge is advancing at such a rapid rate, and they're understanding how to recover. They're understanding all these different factors that just weren't there.
Yeah, and if you add in a bunch of stuff like hyperbaric chambers, so if these guys have access to hyperbaric chambers and training with hypoxic chambers and shit like that, there's levels and levels and levels that can be reached. You just have to be a complete fucking psycho and go through all the levels.
Yeah.
And get
it's like Donkey Kong.
like measure all your food, all your electrolytes, everything throughout the day. Have your sleep environment perfect. Wear a mask.
I'm telling you, there's guys out there that'll do it.
There's guys that'll do it.
They'll do it.
Well, they have to if that's where you get the edge, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's becoming to a point now where the financial benefit is worth the sacrifice, right?
Yes.
That you'll end up going, okay. Because what started to happen when I was fighting is that once the financial piece started getting in there, it started attracting more talent.
Right.
So that talent, it brings the level of everybody up.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like a little bit more money, talent that could have maybe went and did something else. They're going, no, I'm going to go do this because I can make money.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? If you're a young kid and you're really good at baseball, but you also like jiu-jitsu and MMA, and you have an amateur fight maybe, and you're thinking about what you're going to do with your career, you could be so rich playing baseball.
Oh, God,
You could be so rich. If you're really good at baseball, you can be rich as fuck, and nobody's trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to beat you over the head with elbows.
Yeah.
Nobody's taking you down in front of everybody and humiliating you. Wow. Fuck this. Let's play ball.
Dude, seriously, I fucking play baseball in a heartbeat, man.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, my
so
God.
that's the problem with MMA. Is like you hear, like, what is it to fight in the UFC? Like, what is the bottom scale? What's like the lowest contract that you get in the UFC in 2020? And this is not even saying they deserve more, because this is just how the sport works.
Yeah.
And it's way better in the UFC, by the way, than it is in boxing. When you watch a boxing card, most of the money's at the top, and there's very little spread out.
Yeah.
There's guys that fight in the UFC undercard that make excellent money. But when you first start, you don't. I think it's like 10.
It's one of those things where it's like, would I expect to like start at Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
And going, yeah, I get $1 million
Well,
a year. Fuck no. You work your way into, and that's one of the things about the sport. As long as it has the opportunity to let somebody grow into it, you know, and still gives them financial incentive to grow into it, right?
Right.
And just one where it's like, I wouldn't expect like, hey, I'm a good fighter, pay me $1 million. It's like, well, that's not how it fucking works.
No, I wouldn't say $1 million, but wouldn't you say, like, let's make this argument. Wouldn't you think that for young, struggling fighters, if they got paid more for fights, they could put together better camps?
They could.
They could get better recovery and nutrition, have less stress, and be able to perform better, so it would make the product better.
So here's where my career transitioned. I call it internally funded. My first 4 fights, I was using that money to get to the next fight, to get to the next fight, to get to the next fight. Then all of a sudden I get in Japan and they pay me enough money for the one fight that the next day I woke up and I was a professional fighter, because it was the only thing I had to do was train as a fighter.
What was the biggest check you got in Japan?
A little over $500,000.
Damn. Back then, that was a lot.
Cash.
Ooh.
Yeah, fucking.
How did you get it out of the country,
dude? That was.
How did you get it?
Here's what's fucked up about it, right? So, my first couple times over there, I'm like, I put, like, first time I put 40-something thousand in one cowboy boot with the tube socks. I put 40,000 in the other cowboy boot with the tube socks. I'm serious, because it was straight out of the fucking cartoons how you got paid. Because the next day you would go up to a room, and you literally would have a room. You'd have an adjacent room, usually with Japanese guys in black suits smoking, and then you'd have this room, which is where you get paid. They had these, suitcases that had your pay. You could choose your currency. Right? I'm getting paid in American dollars. So they would have your contract, slide your contract over, and then go, okay, this fight you get paid. This is the dollar amount, blah, blah, blah. And they would literally take it out, count it, you would sign on it, and then they would just hand you the cash. First time they ever did that, I'm like, it's $150,000 in cash. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I'll be right back. I go to the bedroom, it's in the hotel room, and I grab the fucking case to the pillow. And I go over and I fucking just scrape the fucking money, put it in the pillowcase, and I go, okay, thank you. And just start fucking go head out. I don't know what to fucking do.
That's crazy.
I'm like down in the elevator, like fucking holding the money, like fucking, I don't know what to fucking do.
$150,000 in a pillowcase. Like,
I
who
didn't
is
know
that
what
guy?
to fucking do.
Big giant guy with $150,000 in a pillowcase. That does not look good.
No, it does not, man. It's like,
what did they expect you to do with it? Did they give you any advice on how to get it out of the country?
Oh, no. That was it was your responsibility.
Oh, my God.
So literally, I'm like, oh, fuck, man. I like, get on it. And like in my head, I'm playing all these movies, right? Like, oh, in this movie, he got caught at the border. I'm like, fuck. I know that's going to be this one. It's like, so I end up fucking just going, oh, cowboy boots, tube socks, like fucking 40 grand in one boot, 40 grand in the other, put it in fucking, and like walk, and like, you got anything to declare? No. You just like walk through, but realizing that eventually when I claimed money, they hand a claim form. They go, okay, you're claiming 140,000. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Oh, you just have to claim it?
You have to claim it because they want to send it. They want to send that receipt to the IRS.
Oh. Okay.
So when you go through customs,
I thought it was just a function of not being able to take that much cash.
So
without
when
like
you declare it, there's that situation too, right? But when
because everybody's going to go, where'd you get a half a million?
Yeah, exactly.
I guess back then, could you even No, you couldn't even YouTube yourself.
No, there's
you couldn't say, look, this is me, man. I just won. Look, aren't I awesome?
Exactly. This is how I really did win.
Right. Back then, it was hard to get tapes, man.
God, you know what? The like example I give is like the corner video store next to the shutters where all the porn was.
Yep.
Right next to that was the
or
VHS
beads,
tapes.
maybe beads. So everybody can hear it when you went through. You dirty pervert. You got to go see Faces of Death.
Yeah, that's it.
Those Faces of Death.
Oh
UFC.
my God.
Yeah,
that was right. Literally, those were where the UFC tapes were. Those were the Pride tapes were.
I remember. I was living in Hollywood. I just moved there. It was 94. It was when UFC 2 was available on VHS.
Yeah.
So I'd heard about UFC 1, but I didn't see it. And then UFC 2 I saw on tape. I rented it from like one of those video stores, and I was like, holy shit, they did it. I couldn't believe it. I'm like,
Wow.
holy shit, they did it. Because this was always the dream. This was literally Bruce Lee's conversation.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee's conversation. I mean, he was the first guy to be completely outside of the norm in terms of like sticking to your style.
Yep.
Because you were like a traitor if you
Oh,
left
100%,
certain
yeah.
kung fu styles
Yeah.
or certain karate styles. He was the first guy to say, no, use what's useful. Put
Yeah.
it all together.
Judo Gene LaBelle he got with. He got with
Yes.
Chuck Norris. He got with all these other. That was the first thing. Like the symbol is a kanji for a dragon, right? Bruce Lee was Enter the Dragon, right?
Yeah.
Dragon is all these parts to make one mythical thing.
Yes.
And that's that Enter the Dragon. That's that. Bruce Lee was the first one, if people don't realize it, he was the first one to go, fuck, this is incomplete.
Exactly. And it's so fortuitous that he ran into Judo Gene LaBelle.
Yeah.
And because
Yeah.
I think once you grapple with that guy, you're like, oh my God, I'm fucking helpless.
Oh.
And then it's just like, oh, this is super important.
Yeah.
You know, because like Gene was one of the first guys to ever have like a mixed fight. So there was a guy who was a boxer, and he had a judo gi on, and he chases the guy and gets the guy into a grappling exchange and then strangles him. But
Okay.
he had like a boxer
Wow.
versus judo.
Wow.
You never saw that?
No.
See if you can find it, Jamie. I want to say it's in the
So way back
60s?
So this is going to be way back when.
way
So-
back when he was.
So this is Mark Coleman and I did a clinic in North Carolina that was a Judo Gene LaBelle clinic that he brought us in for.
What year is this? 63.
Oh my God.
So Milo Savage. So the boxer looks like he's okay. I remembered it wrong. The boxer's bare knuckle, and he made him wear a judo gi though, which I would have said, "Fuck you, I'm not
Wow.
wearing this gi." He probably doesn't understand that that's a weapon
Oh
for
my
Gene.
God, it's
What
an
happened?
extra set of
We didn't see him
hands.
take him down.
Oh, that's just.
Did they show him taking him down?
Oh my God.
Oh, don't skip through it. I'm going to see the technique. Because once he grabs,
that
right
is-
here it is. So Milo throws it, but that's it. So once Gene's got a hold
Oh,
of him,
it's over.
It's fucks
It's
Phil.
over.
I mean, you don't know what that even feels like until you feel it.
Oh my God. So I rolled with Higan Machado, and oh my God.
He's just putting him to sleep with a collar choke here.
Oh my God. It's just brutal.
Yeah, he's mangling him.
Oh my God.
He's just mangling him. This
Oh
poor
my
guy.
God.
And Gene his style was very, very brutal.
Oh my God.
Like he had a very almost like catch wrestling style
Yeah,
based
yeah.
submission. He had a lot of like very, very painful moves that he would do on you.
Oh my God. You imagine just not understanding what you're agreeing to?
No, and he just got choked unconscious. No, you can't know until it happens. I mean, I don't know how much cross training people did. I bet he probably thought I was just going to go in there and use my boxing.
Yeah, and be
I'll
good.
fuck him up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just you don't know until you know, and then you go wow. But it's so wild that even at the highest levels, like at the level that you were wrestling at, a guy like Kurt Angle can go, well, let's take it up another notch.
Another notch, man.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part. You always find like me being a fan of MMA and UFC and watching it. There's always an outlier, right?
Yeah, always.
Always an outlier that you go, that doesn't make sense. How
Yeah.
the fuck is he getting to there?
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, fuck, he's just found a new way to do it. He's found a new gear. He's found a new, way to just go, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It's like a David Goggins thing. Oh, I'm just going to run 125 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, and to be able to maintain that drive, that's what's probably one of the hardest things, because you have to have almost no rest, and you're maintaining an insane drive for years and years and years while sharks are nipping at your ankles.
All of it.
Because they're all coming up.
Yeah, all chasing you.
All chasing you.
Yeah.
And everybody's scary.
Ugh. Well, I used to tell my fucking training partner, I go, fuck, the getting there, that's one thing. Fucking staying there, that's the secret.
Yeah.
It's so hard to stay at that level because everybody else is building on your experience, right? They're going, well, this is what he did. This is what he's incorporated. These are the things he's doing. I'm just going to build on it.
Yeah.
There's some weird rules to this fight that they had agreed upon too, and Gene LeBell said that Savage had brass knuckles in his gloves.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I start reading here the rules. He couldn't punch or tackle, he couldn't kick or tackle him. And in exchange for that, Savage offered to wear a judogi.
A judo gi.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's how they wrote it wrong.
Yeah, no, it's a judo gi.
That's a new outfit.
Said he wrote a karate one instead because they didn't know the difference.
Okay, so in the apparent belief that LeBell was a karateka,
man.
so that's
Wow.
interesting. So
That's
he made a rule
crazy.
that Gene couldn't kick him. So
Or
because he
attempt to
thought
tackle.
that he was going to he couldn't tackle him and he couldn't take him. So it couldn't attempt tackles or takedowns under the waist.
Ooh.
So you had to only hip toss him or only drag him to the ground. Everything
yeah.
had to be above waist. That's kind of silly.
Yeah, it's really silly. Because it's one of those things where it's like Greco.
Yeah.
They're doing like
$1,000
Greco.
bet.
Yeah. $1,000 bet.
Yeah, to anyone who could prove that a boxer would be beat by a martial artist, I think, in a straight fight.
Wow.
Well,
This is way ahead of its
I wonder.
time.
Yeah, I wonder if the brass knuckles thing is true.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll try to look that up.
According to LeBell and others, he was a
Wow.
bad motherfucker, Gene LeBell. Oof.
Ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Again.
And again, that fortuitous meeting, him and Bruce Lee getting together, where Bruce Lee was like, the most famous martial artist on earth, the guys who's turning people on to martial arts, had the
Yeah.
most open mind
Yeah.
and had this philosophy of using everything that's useful, and then meets this guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
Here it
Here we
is.
go.
Yeah.
he would have loved MMA.
Oh my God, he
if
would have
was
fucking
alive
been
today,
totally jazzed on it.
Oh my God, he'd be at every fight.
Yeah, that's one of those things where again, it's just somebody being ahead of their time.
Way ahead of his time. But not just that, but like the first guy that became a world famous martial arts person. Like there was no real world famous martial arts people before Bruce Lee. Mm-mm. I mean, you'd have to be into martial arts to know about
martial arts.
Yeah. But Bruce Lee, like everybody knew Bruce Lee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Changed martial, like igniting martial arts all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where I look back on it and I've read like part of the history and stuff, and you understand it obviously way better than I do. But like ahead of his time, just like when Gracie came along, ahead of his time, and presenting something where he's knocking down all these stereotypes.
Yeah, and they
You
had
know?
rigid stereotypes back then.
oh
where
my
you'd have
God,
to
man.
like get in gang fights to protect the style that you were. Like, they
Do you,
would.
do
They
you
would
know?
fight.
Do you know? Like, so I started training at Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu Club, right, in California. And
I remember that spot.
So Boss would have me out there. Avi Rubin is the guy that owned it, and I would go out there and I would teach wrestling a couple days out of the week. It's how I got introduced to Boss, Oleg Tatarov, Marco Huas, and Pedro Hizo. They were training out of there as well. So you would get these guys, jiu-jitsu guys, that would sit on the outside, wait until the other students were gone, draw all the blinds, lock the doors, and go, "Can you teach us wrestling?" Because they were so afraid that if they got caught there with me, it was like a traitor.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So you would get like,
That's so crazy.
it was it didn't make any sense to me because you would figure sharing information would be better.
Yeah.
And it was like, no. Jiu-jitsu, we're not sharing shit. We're not, you can't participate. You can't. It was so fucking archaic, like the outlook. And it's like looking back on it going, God damn, like, wow, that's dogma. That's like this, like, and it's
weird.
Like, yeah.
They didn't all have that though.
No, they didn't.
There's some guys who were open to teaching people everything, but there was definitely some schools for a while that were holding back techniques.
100%.
Like I remember when Hoist Gracie, one of my friends said that when Hoist Gracie caught Dan Severn in a triangle, that he asked his instructor to show it to him. He's like, "You're not ready for that.
Nope.
I'm not going to show you that." Like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you just show him
Yeah.
something that works?
I rewound that tape probably 50 times, and I still can't. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Because all of a sudden, Severn goes from beating the shit out of him, going,
Yeah.
he's fucking tapping out.
Yeah, nuts. We couldn't believe it.
I didn't know there's a name for it.
You could submit a guy off your back with your
Yeah,
legs?
like what the fuck? Like what? But if you look at it, like the space where he had Dan's head and arm is like that big.
Yeah.
It's like that like when you do a triangle like this,
Yeah.
going, that's not a very big space.
Yeah.
It's like to have fucking Dan because he's a big dude going, oh, I get it.
And your legs, you can
get
hold
it.
your legs in
Legs.
place for a long time.
Oh.
Your legs carry you around all day.
Oh, that's like
Especially if you actually get that foot under the knee
Oh.
where it's like really locked in. It's not pressing on the end
Nope.
of your foot. You could hold on to that bitch for a long
oh
time.
my god! And then he's like pulling on the fuck. I'm like
Pulling
what
on the head.
fuck?
Nuts.
Yeah.
Changed everybody. Like, oh my God, you could win off your back.
It literally. I still remember to this day just looking at it with my mouth hanging open, going, oh fuck.
I think it was one of the things that made MMA so popular because Hoist wasn't a big, like he didn't look like you, right?
No,
so like
no.
if you were dominating everybody, it would be like,
yeah,
Jesus,
okay,
look
yeah,
at him.
yeah.
But
He's
Hoist
supposed to.
was just looked like an athlete.
Yeah.
Just like a thin. He was 175 pounds, which is so crazy.
So you know what's a good?
So crazy.
I had a conversation with Hoist probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and I'd never spoken with him outside of a competition or event or anything like that. I cried. He's such a good person.
Oh, he's a great
man.
guy. He's a great guy.
Like he was so just like talking to him, and he was just so powerful and so inspirational, and just having this conversation with him was just like amazing. I was just left the conversation, hung the phone about, and going, "Wow, what a just an amazing human being."
Yeah,
He's a really good guy.
and the most important guy ever in terms of like the spread of MMA. He's
Yeah.
the most important guy
Oh,
ever.
prolific.
Because
How-
he's the guy, when he won the first one and you looked at the way he did it, everyone was like, that guy?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
No
What
one
is
knew
that
what it
thing?
was. What is this stuff
Yeah.
he's doing to these people?
the thing.
Changed everything.
Yeah.
And made everybody, instead, because it went from this idea that it was just the most brutal person would
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
It was the Tank Abbots. Like,
Yeah.
But no. There's this one guy, and he's doing everything with technique, and he's not physically imposing at all. And he's handsome.
It didn't make. Yeah, he's good. Look at you,
Handsome,
man.
handsome fella.
And he wears that fancy gi thing, you know. It's like-
He looks
the
like
gi
he's a
thing.
bad motherfucker, and he's choking
No,
everybody
I-
out. It was incredible.
Watching that for the first time, I said, like, literally, it was like, oh, this is fucking new.
Yeah.
Like, this is, because you've never seen it before.
No, nothing like it.
Yeah.
And then the sport explodes. But the sport was getting fucked so hard back then by all these organizations that didn't want it ever to become sanctioned.
Yeah.
Like, because boxing was very threatened by it, and
Everybody
they had
was.
businesses with people, and then there was so much bullshit that kept it like it was out of New York until like 10 years ago.
So
or
we
something.
were
Like,
we
when-
were on me and my brother, we were on our way to see a UFC event in New York, and it got canceled and it got moved down south.
Yes, to Dothan, Alabama.
Yes,
UFC
yeah.
12.
Yeah, we were on our way. We were on our way to go see it.
I was
And-
on my way to work at it.
Oh my god!
That was the first one I was going to work at.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and it got moved.
Yeah, it got moved, and so
New York was like, nope.
nope, ain't having it.
Ain't having
it. Ain't happening.
Well, they kept it out for the longest time, though. There was the guy who was really fighting to keep the UFC out of New York. Eventually got brought up on corruption charges.
Oh, yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah.
But it was like it had more to do with like unions and the fact that Zuffa, who owned it, they also
Didn't have-
owned hotels.
And didn't have union.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
there was a lot
going on.
A lot that makes
you know,
you go-
I went to the first sanctioned. The UFC flew me out to go to in New Jersey when they had their main card in New Jersey. Their first big event that was sanctioned by the New Jersey Boxing Commission with Tito, and they flew me out to that event.
Oh wow.
Yeah, flew me out to that event. And actually, this is at the time they offered me to fight. After that, they offered me to fight Pete Williams.
Ooh.
And it was one of those where they go, yeah, we're offered to fight Pete Williams. You might have to take a little bit of pay cut, but you have to believe in what we're doing. And I'm like, okay, what's the pay cut? They're like, we'll give you like an appearance fee of like $15,000
To
You know?
fight?
to fight,
15 grand?
to show up, and then it would be doubled if I won. And I'm like, I'm making, a lot more in Japan. Like, why would I go do it? Like, why?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a terrible offer.
Yeah, so it was bad.
That's one of the worst offers I've ever heard.
And it's one where the whole idea behind it would be, hey, if you believe in us and you believe in the direction you're going, look, we just got sanctioned in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So that's the steps we're taking to move this to Vegas and to do this. And in one is like, like most fighters, it's like I have X amount of fights and I don't have more. Right. I only have X. So that would have been one off my X number.
Right.
And I'm like, oh man, I can't do it. And they only ask once. At that time, the UFC was like, we're going to ask once. And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that,
I'm just leaving that alone. Just leave that one alone.
that one's one of, like, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Why not? Why not ask me a second time? Why are we negotiating?
I don't know.
If you were at Pride then, right?
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
what year are we talking about?
2002.
Okay, so this was when the UFC was still hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
And still, isn't that crazy? Hemorrhaging money is still.
Oh gosh, man, it should have failed.
It could have.
I mean,
If
one is
anybody else
they didn't
was in
have.
charge of
Yeah,
it,
if anybody
probably
else
would've
was.
failed.
Yeah.
Because that's
it's just-
crazy. They had no idea how much money you were getting in Japan.
Oh, they had no clue. They had no clue. So
that's
you know what's
nuts.
crazy with Japan? Here's what I ended up doing. I said, listen. They said, what do you need? And I said, I need consistency. And they go, okay, what does that look like? And I said, pay me X dollars per month. And then every time I fight, pay me a bonus on top of that. And they go, okay, how much do you need? And I said, okay, I need this amount per month. And they go, okay. And that was just another stabilizing thing where I knew that every month I had X amount of dollars coming in, that I could pay my bills, I could do my stuff, not worry about that, because it allowed me to transition to, like, it's not a hobby.
Right.
I'm not like fighting and then I go to work. It's like, this is what I do for a living.
Yeah, that was the point of thinking about money investment, like by giving them more money and they get better camps. Wouldn't you think the product would be better?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't like to think of people as products, but
It is.
but the show,
It
the
is.
program,
The show.
program.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
Now I guess you don't have to pay for it. You're going to just pay for the subscription to Paramount, which is pretty badass.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to pay for a pay-per-view every time. But, if they had more money, they'd be able to do a better camp. They'd be in better shape.
All the
fights
way
would be
around.
better.
All the way around.
Yeah, they'd be better recovered. They have better nutrition.
It's investing in what your product is. And your product is elite athletes. Elite athletes. In order to get elite athletes, they need funding.
Right.
They need tools. The
Yeah.
only way they can get tools is through money. Better coaches, better recovery facilities, and I don't know I obviously.
So let me ask you this:
Yeah.
if you were like looking, like say if your son wanted to start fighting or someone wanted to look to you, would you, if you were giving a young fighter advice, would you say go right into the UFC, or would you say no? The best case scenario is go into another organization like the PFL, build your style up, build it up on maybe a slightly lower level of competition, although not necessarily.
Yeah.
Still elite guys.
Submission grappling. That's I go. You fundamentally you need to build a base of what you're going to become, right? So submission grappling, ADCC, if a young kid, like 16, 17-year-old kid, even 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, I go, you need submission grappling because you can participate in those at a competitive level that teaches you how to compete. It teaches you how to prepare to compete, right? And it teaches you without the impact of striking and punching and all of this. So that's like the first foundational piece. And this is just my opinion, right? Foundationally is like if you have to have a mechanism out there which allows you to compete without having the physical impact that fighting does. So that would be the first thing, like submission grappling, ADCC stuff. All of that really teaches you how to compete, to train to compete, and it starts building that base. And then you start adding pieces in, going, okay, I understand this. Let's add the striking components into it now. And let's do these little like PFLs, or let's do this, let's do that. And it just allows you to build out something where you're not just thrown into the fire, because that shit doesn't work. I mean, the fighters have become so good now that you can't just throw somebody in there because you get fucked up. It might fuck your confidence up, and you go, I'm done. I ain't ever doing this.
Yeah, you could definitely reach an opponent that you shouldn't be reaching.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I wondered that if you build yourself up in another organization, then obviously you have at least a name, and the hardcore fans know who you are.
Yeah.
So like Rainier de Ritter is another example.
Okay.
Who's elite right now. I say middleweight, but I can't believe he's really a middleweight. He's so fucking big, but he's a fantastic grappler. But he was already a champion in one. So he's a champion in ONE FC, and then when he comes over to America and he starts fighting for the UFC, people are already hyped for him. So he's like immediately getting tossed in there with Kevin Holland, immediately getting tossed in there with like very elite fighters. And so like maybe there's an argument for if you were like managing a fighter, saying like don't just if you fight well in the UFC, you might be 3 fights in and in the waters that you really can't swim in.
Yeah.
Because the level gets high very fast.
It does.
Like maybe you'd be better off getting a few years in at a different level of competition to really tighten your skills up and make sure that when you finally do
You've been ringside for this. You see when a young fighter, when he clicks and he gets it.
Yeah.
And he understands how to compete at that level. It's brilliant.
It's amazing.
Like watching it, you're like, oh my God, he's
in there.
Oh my God. It gives me goosebumps to think about it because it's that moments that I can look at and go, oh fuck.
And, it's a beautiful creation. It's like a testament to the amount of hours worked. Like, it better than anybody alive. When you see someone perform at like a super elite championship level, you go, you know how hard that motherfucker had to work to get to what you're seeing right now?
It's even, and this just brought this up just as a thing, like DJ playing me in the movie. You just don't get there.
Right.
It doesn't happen by magic, right?
Right.
That's fucking work.
That's work.
That's
For him
a lot
to
of
become
fucking
you,
work. Oh my God,
he became you. Like
he
got all of your mannerisms down, like down, not like a simile, a facsimile,
no.
like like creepy down.
like he even said he fucking walks like me. He even got my little fucking walk. I'm like,
did get the walk like you, man.
I'm
It's
like,
nuts.
where do you hire a walk coach?
Well, the crazy thing is, like, that story was made for him.
Yeah, it was.
That was made for him because you have to be that big to sell that.
Yeah.
And you can't get that big that quick. It should take you forever.
No, we were talking about this the other day with DJ. Is that like there's like through the history of like movie making, there's been actors that have like I'm getting big and they go eat Ben and Jerry's ice cream. And then there's like watching the whole transition of what DJ was doing and how he's like, well, I just don't need to be big because that's one thing. I need to be big, but put on quality of what I'm doing. And so it's these fast twitch. It's like a wrestler, fast twitch fibers. You look at him and go, oh shit, he just didn't get big. He put on specific muscle for what he was doing, and to be able to go through everything and understand he secluded himself. He literally locked himself away for 11 weeks up in Vancouver and didn't bring his family up, which I guess he normally does, and just went through his training camp.
Jesus.
Like going, fuck. Okay. Like every day, same routine, get up, do the same routine, do this. I was up there for fight week, got all of his stunt guys all like, this is foundationally, because I'm not going to teach him wrestling, 25 years of wrestling in fucking a month, right? Or 2 weeks or a week or an hour. It's like, okay, but let's get foundational pieces, right? Because the people are going to watch it. They can look at the film and tell whether you put the work in or not.
Right. Especially someone like you.
Oh God, man!
Yeah.
It was one where that was the biggest deal for Benny, is to be able to shoot these scenes without a stunt double. Going because it just detracts from what he's trying to do as a filmmaker.
Right.
How do you shoot this whole entire? Well, I'm going to give DJ foundational pieces of like changing your level for a double. Like, here's where you get, and like certain foundational pieces you have to have, and then like I told them, once you get to a certain point, everything from that point on is your own. It's like when you watch wrestlers going, oh, he changes his level, and then all these little nuances, that's individual. That's individualized. Like Michael Jordan, it's like the structure for a jump shot's the same, right? But all these little nuances of like how to get to the position to hit a jump shot, that's Michael Jordan.
Right. Right.
So I go like when I shoot a double leg, like lowering your level, that's foundational, fundamental, right? It's like attacking without my arms out, in tight, that's fundamental. But once I hit the person with the attack, right, double leg, everything from that point going on is my own. Whether I tip him this way, tilt him this way, run him forward, run him backwards, sit down, change that. It's all these little nuances. I go, we need to do foundational, and then you're good. So it was a lot of work for him to get to that foundational point. And once he got there, it's like, okay, you're good.
It looked very realistic. The fight scenes were excellent.
Yeah.
It was like really well done to the point where it looked like the historical fight.
Yeah, they did. And again, this is Benny, just like him and how he wanted to shoot it. And
I really appreciate that because it's like that's hard to do. It's hard to really capture. Like you watch a documentary or a docudrama rather on a person's real life when that person's a famous person like yourself, and I've seen you compete for decades.
Yeah.
I'm like I've seen it. I know. I remember those fights. They got it. They got it real close, man. To the point like wow.
Yeah.
This is it's really well done, and it also it looks realistic. It doesn't look, sometimes fights look a little corny.
Oh my God, that was the one thing we were talking about. Going, there's always going to be a space for a Rocky fight, right?
Sure.
Literally,
nothing wrong with Rocky.
Nothing wrong
It's
at all.
fun.
But that's not the film they were shooting. They were
Right.
shooting like this is how do we create something that pays homage to, and something you can build off of, and somebody can look at it and go, oh wow.
I think it's important if we're talking about Rocky, though, we have to say Rocky 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, whatever the fuck they got out to. But Rocky 1 was real.
Oh my God,
That
cry.
was
I literally, I remember
Bro.
being in the theater and literally watching it, and just like as a kid, watching it, and like, I wanted to be Rocky.
Dude, I drank a raw egg and I ran around the block
Oh,
as soon
yeah.
as I got home.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you're like,
holy shit.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Oh,
and they tried to
unbelievable.
push him out. They didn't want him to play the lead. Who wrote that movie?
Oh my God, he won an Oscar for that, right?
It was amazing.
Yeah,
it's a great movie, and it's a weird movie. It's a weird
It
movie.
is, because that's the classic underdog, overachiever, but he doesn't win.
There are guys like that, man, and that's what's crazy. There's guys that are hyper fucking talented, but for whatever reason, they just never. Buster
get there.
Douglas.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Buster Douglas.
Yeah.
Buster Douglas got it together for one fight against Mike Tyson and pieced him up.
Yeah.
And did it artistically.
Yeah.
He was hitting with a jab followed by a left hook, just whop whop, and it was beautiful. The movement.
Wasn't that in Tokyo?
I believe it was.
Yeah, Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Yeah. That was one of the craziest.
Yeah.
Fights
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
Because his mom had died.
Yeah.
And he just got it together for this one fight. Wow. And if it was one fight, he showed everybody what he had.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Never to be repeated.
Never. And then Holyfield knocked him out in the next fight.
Yeah. Yeah, gosh damn. Oh,
But
unbelievable.
that one fight, man, he got it together, and you go, wow. So there's guys like that out there that are supremely talented, but for whatever reason, they just never sustain, never can keep it together.
It's a mental thing.
It has to be.
I mean, all of it is, right? I mean, just like you're saying, like the outliers. It's a mental thing that they have a level or a gear they can get to that everybody else just can't.
It has to be, or there's got to be something they're doing that's so different, and everybody's trying to figure it out. Like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And it seems to boil down to almost always dedication. It's like, how dedicated are you to it? And are you so dedicated that you're really willing to objectively look at what you do good and what you not so good and change that and fix it and really tighten down your diet and really get religious with your supplements?
That's the ability to be able to be just have this self-perspective, right? This in-depth honesty. Because a lot of it, like I literally, before Chris Campbell, right, I was just talking about, I thought I was training fucking hard. I thought I'm training fucking hard. And he just grabbed me by the hand and he goes, no, let me show you what hard is, right? And so it was this routine where it's like, it's in college, my senior year, 6 a.m., I'd get up. He would pick me up. And I wouldn't be a minute late. I had a chair that I put next to the door that I slept in for the last, because one time being late, he just throttled me. And I'm like, it ain't never happen again. Ain't fucking ever happen again, man.
You slept in the chair?
Slept in the chair next to the door. You know, it'd be like, all right, fucking, because he would just give 2 beeps, beep, beep, and like, all right, I'm up. You know, and fucking out the front door. We'd go to the gym. We'd train in the morning. So we'd do wrestling drills, stuff like that. And then I would do cardio or strength. He would go to work. He was a full-time attorney. He'd go to work all day. I would start practicing with the wrestling team, warm up, and then I'd wait for him to get off of work, 5 o'clock. And then we'd train for a couple hours and then get up and repeat. But it's this level of intensity with everything had intention. There wasn't anything that was left without intent.
Right.
You know, from how we drilled, how we trained, everything was very focused and intentional. There wasn't anything like, I'm going to do this today. You know, it's like, no. Everything has intention. This is why you're doing this. This is why you're doing that. This is why you're doing this.
And that's the difference.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
It's this intention of every single thing you're doing has this intention for an end purpose.
You know who Gordon Ryan is, right?
Yeah.
That's Gordon's belt up there. When Gordon trains 365 days a year,
Yeah.
he doesn't
He's an
take any days
animal.
off unless he's injured. And if he's injured, he'll still be on the mats watching. He watches everybody. He
Yeah.
says, like, I'm still thinking about jujitsu.
That's intention.
And it's not just training like hard sparring. It's
Yeah.
going over technique,
Yep.
going over counters, tape study.
All of it.
All day.
And that is somebody who's living their life intentional,
Yeah.
right? Everything has a end purpose.
Everything.
And it's why he's been able to do what he's been able to do. I mean, I've looked at it going, if he existed when I was doing ADCC, I would have never won.
It's
You know,
nuts.
because it's just a different level, and that's a skill set I had wrestling, but he's got a skill set that incorporates that plus 20 things more.
And it's nuts because he gives away the formula. He's like, but no one's willing to do it.
No.
He's like, and he just says it with confidence. He goes, I put out all my videos out there for free. You can watch them.
Isn't that fucking funny though?
I mean, he puts techniques up all the
Oh
time,
my
shows you how to do stuff,
God.
and he sells
my
DVDs still.
God.
He makes millions just selling instructionals because
God.
that's how much he knows about jujitsu.
Oh my gosh.
And he's only
man.
30.
Yeah.
And everybody considers him the greatest of all time.
You know, it's crazy. It's funny just brought this up. So when DJ and I connected again in 2023, when this got kicked off, green light for the film, he sends me this picture of Panther videos, Panther martial arts, seek and destroy videos that I did that are on a VHS tape. He's got like 10 of them in the picture, right? And it's Mark Kerr, Seek and Destroy. Benny had found them and sent them to DJ, and he's like, study him. So it's this videotape series that I did for Panther
There it
Production. Here it is, man.
Whoa.
So this is one of these things
Seek and
where
destroy.
Oh my
No
God.
holds barred fighting techniques.
Yep. And so DJ sends me this picture, and it was fucking, I was literally like, okay, I'm in.
Dude, look at the size of you. You look like a superhero.
Oh, dude, I had such. This is. I call it phone booth fighting, right? Like I could, in a very small space, I could generate a fucking shit ton of power.
Oh, dude, you were a freak.
Shit ton of power.
You were a legitimate freak. And I remember, like, watching you fight the first time, I was like, that's going to be a real problem. Like, that's going to be a real problem. What do you do with that? It's one thing that you're giant, but it's also that you got elite wrestling skills on top of that. Like,
Oh shit!
fuck.
Yeah, this might be a problem. Yeah. Oh my
All
God.
these dudes in karate gis are like, God damn it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You're like, Phil, I'm turning in my gi.
And then the gi, the problem with the gi is anyone can grab it.
Yeah.
You know, it makes
Yeah.
wrestling even easier. If you allowed the gi still, I think there'd probably be a few people that get choked out, but also a lot of people get taken down a lot easier.
Yeah. So
Because you can grab the gi.
Higgin
You have to be able to grab the
Machado, I've rolled with him.
Right.
Jean-Jacques and Higgin. And Higgin, it was like giving him an extra set of hands.
Yeah.
I go, dude, I literally, so in Torrance, when I trained with him, there's one room and then another room, and there's a door between them. And so he had half of his class kind of all stacked up in the door watching us train. And it was like 5 minutes with a gi. And I just looked at Higgin and I go, I ain't never fucking wearing this thing again. Fucking, or take the gi off, man. Fucking here, have it back. 'Cause it's like, fuck.
It's a weapon.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a weapon. Especially the guy who's got really good collar chokes. Those guys are terrifying. They get that thumb behind your neck,
Oh
and you're
my
like,
God.
oh Christ.
It was like he was getting me in positions. He would tie up an arm like with a gi, and I'd be like, "Fuck now he's got like
Yeah.
like what the fuck, dude?"
It's a totally different thing. You have to really be aware of grips and and you can't explode your way out of stuff. That's what the argument for the gi is defensively, that you have to get out of every position with technique. You can't just pull your arm out. Your arm's stuck. So you have to figure out the right way to do this.
yeah.
Where you don't expose yourself because they have too much friction.
It's been a minute since I'm like, no friction. You literally, it's all friction. I mean, it's like
it's all
no
friction.
slip.
It's a problem if you have one. But the thing, Eddie Bravo always used to say, why would you want to train in that for MMA, though? He's like, that would be crazy. That would be like saying, if you play racquetball, you're going to be better at tennis.
Yeah,
like, no, play tennis.
Yeah.
You have to play tennis at an elite level. You should be, all your grips should be based on control of the body, gable grips and
all that
underhooks and overhooks, and like you can't. Because that's the one thing that we saw with a lot of jiu-jitsu guys in the early days. They were so used to grabbing collars and grabbing sleeves that when they went to the ground, they lost 30% of their game.
Yeah. And that's the evolution of. It's why I like foundationally gi-less grappling, right? Because it just teaches you fundamentally what you're about to do if you're going to get in MMA.
Yes.
Right?
For sure.
Foundationally, it's like that's where you need to start.
Yeah, I think so.
Because even to the point where it's like because you have a lot of wrestling in there and you have a lot of moves. Like my first times at Abu Dhabi, the only thing I kept saying is small moves, small moves, small moves. Like I didn't like I literally, if I felt uncomfortable, it was these small, tiny moves.
Right.
It wasn't this like explosion because it's like fuck, I don't know what I'm gonna explode into.
Right.
Right. So it's foundationally, it's gis are, it's a different sport.
It's a totally different sport, but I think there's something to be gained from cross training with the gi. I think the gi is like, it's a fun thing to do, and in most street fights, the realistic thing is you're going to be wearing clothes, and especially if you're fighting in a place that where people are wearing winter coats.
Oh God!
Oh my God, that'll be amazing. Like, there's so much stuff.
A smorgasbord.
So many things to choose from. So much control available. But for if you really ever wanted to think about competing, I would say just go right into wrestling. And jiu-jitsu. Learn that stuff first. That's foundational.
Yeah.
You have to.
God, man, I can't believe you've been involved in this long, Joe.
I know, it's so long.
I mean, you're a spectator to history.
I know. I feel super lucky. Incredibly fortunate. You know when I felt the most fortunate? During COVID. Because everything was locked down. You couldn't do anything. But the UFC was still putting on shows. And you'd get tested. And you'd have to get tested when you got there. And if everybody's wearing a mask until you get to sit down next to each other.
Yeah.
But we were in the Apex Center. And I got to watch like world championship fights with no audience. I was like, this is crazy. And there's only one of maybe there's 100 people in the whole room that are getting to watch these fights. Like when we saw Stipe fight Francis Ngannou when Francis beat him for the world title, there was no one in that room, man.
Wow.
It's crazy to watch.
Wow.
If you watch it today, it's such a weird video because it's an elite performance by Francis in his prime, where he's like seek and destroy, going after Stipe and patient. It's when DC started calling him Patient Francis.
Yeah.
And dude, there's no crowd, and it's kind of eerie. Wow. It's eerie. Because when he KOs him and you hear people go, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're like, it's like people are kind of freaked out.
Wow. That's unique.
It's very unique. And I was like, wow, there's so few people that get to be here.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
While this fight is happening.
Yeah.
Like when Justin Gaethje fought Tony Ferguson.
Oh, my God.
We were in an empty arena.
Wow.
The arena was completely empty. It was only the UFC crew and only the people that were working around with the UFC.
Oh, my God.
There was no crowd.
Wow.
And if you watch that today, it's bizarre.
Oh, my God. So I even thought, like, my first fights in Japan, how quiet the crowd was. But not that quiet.
There was no one there. The Justin Gaethje Tony Ferguson fight, there might have been 100 people, 200 people in the whole fucking arena. It was nuts. It was like totally
that'd
quiet.
Be so spooky.
It was eerie because you heard the slaps of the punches and kicks way different.
Oh, I bet.
because there's
bet.
no people cheering. Because there's always people cheering.
Yeah,
it's always this
yeah.
background noise. The UFC like.
Yeah.
And you hear thuds and stuff, and I hear a little better than most people because I'm wearing the headphones
Yeah.
and the microphones are in the. But you don't hear it like you hear it when there's an empty arena. When there's an empty arena, you hear the thud.
I need to go back and watch that to see if I can.
Thud of shins hitting meat.
Oh my
the
god!
meat, that
so
thud.
so I've sat there with a group of people that like watching somebody check a kick in here, shin on shin, and just me, nobody in the room getting it, but me going, oh
Yeah.
grabbing it like,
Ow.
I don't care. Like I don't care. That
Owie.
fucking hurt.
That hurt.
I don't care.
You can poker face that shit all you want.
Oh, dude, it fucking hurt. That's like a big fuck you. Like, I know that hurt, dude. I know that
Yeah.
hurt. I know that hurt. Man.
I mean, the COVID times were dark times, but it did make me feel very fortunate to be working for the UFC because to be there live as a person who's like just loved this sport since it first started, to be there live while those fights were going on, I'm like, this is nuts.
that is just one of those where, again, money can't buy that. I mean, it's just
No.
one of those experiences like I've had a couple through this process of filmmaking where it's like, no money on earth could buy that experience. Like in Venice, standing there, like literally, like I'm crying because, like I said, it was at the end of that, it was like therapy. Watching me and literally settling into like, wow, man, I was a dick. I just was really hard on everybody around me. And then having Benny next to me, DJ next to me, feeling their emotions and feeling DJ's emotions because they'd never experienced anything like it either.
Well, I think anybody trying to do what you were trying to do is got to be a bit of a dick. I don't think as nice as you were and you were always super friendly, you're doing something that's really insane.
Yeah.
You're cage fighting for a living in front of the world in your underwear.
Yeah.
Oh
my God. I tell people it's hot pants. I go, fucking, I'm in hot pants. You want to know the truth? Fucking hot pants,
I mean, you were a human superhero, built like a human superhero, and you're fighting for. Who the fuck expects you to be normal?
No, they do though.
But
that's one
what's
where I'm
crazy.
like,
That's
no,
what's
I was a
crazy.
selfish, self-absorbed, and I look at it, I go, okay, all right, I can accept that, and understand that I was trying to raise everybody up.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't get with a fucking program, I didn't have patience for you.
Well, you had gone through, like what you were talking about, these camps, and you had gone through the kind of training that's required to reach the level that you had reached. You know what's in there for everybody, and people that don't want to come aboard, you get mad at them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's like you're gonna hold me back.
yeah, and that's part of it, like understanding, like I just didn't have patience for it because I didn't have time. I didn't have time for it, right?
Yeah.
It's understanding like I know that I only have X amount of fucking fights in me, and I
Right.
got to try to maximize, and that's not going to work, you
Right.
know, because a lot of that was assembling people that were accountable to me, right? And money can hold people accountable in a certain degree, but at a certain point, it's like, the training partners I had around me, it was like, hey, I can help you get to the next level. Right? That was
Yeah.
kind of the enticement.
Yeah.
You just need to make a commitment to me,
Right.
right? Make a commitment to me and I'll give you that little piece that you're missing. And that was kind of the part that I helped, go, okay, my training partners, be accountable to me and I'll help you with that little missing piece of how to be a professional. And so I just didn't have patience. I didn't have patience. And it's one where I'm nice, I'm cordial, all this other stuff. But, at the end of the day, I was demanding.
Do you think that maybe that kind of drive played a factor in you having an issue with substances?
Yeah.
Because you just wanted relief?
Yeah.
Maybe relief from the mindset?
Yeah. Part of it was that, you almost, I almost buy into the bullshit. And I could never be this perfect being that I was trying to be. And so I'm always falling short. And that feeling of always falling short and this just like, I couldn't live up to what I thought I needed to live up to.
Right.
And so that was hiding. And, I'm just going to get a little relief from it. It's going to, so I can unplug.
Right.
And it was just one of those where it started with pain, realistically. It started like, fuck, I'm doing something that inherently I'm going to have pain.
Yeah.
And it was this progression from that of like, from pain to I didn't know what an opiate addiction was.
Yeah, in all fairness, I think we should tell people back when this was all going on, the opiate epidemic had not occurred yet.
Yeah.
And people did not know. And they were also telling a lot of people when they were taking these pain medications that they were not addictive.
Not addictive.
And they
It was
argued
like,
it in court.
fuck.
They argued it in court that it was not addictive.
Oh my God.
Which is really crazy.
Which I didn't
It's
well,
crazy.
I didn't understand. Like, I didn't understand. Like, when I took it to the level that I took it, when I stopped, or tried to stop, I didn't understand what being dope sick was. I didn't understand, like, getting, like, physically sick because I don't have the substance in my body. Like, I would get diarrhea. I couldn't walk from here to the end of the room without having to sit down for a half hour.
It's almost like a parasite.
It is.
It's almost like a parasite that needs you to keep feeding it to stay alive. Because, like, how else could getting poison out of your body be bad?
Yeah.
How nuts is that?
Yeah.
That you
No, it's
want
just so
it
fucked
bad,
up.
you want to get it, you want to get the poison back in you. Like, what kind of weird
And
biological mechanism is that?
The crazy part is the first recognition of, like, that I'm stuck, that I don't know the answer of, like, because I'm caught between, you know, like, all right, I'm going through this physical withdrawal and everything else that comes with it, or I'm just going to go seek the thing that's causing the physical withdrawal because it makes me feel better. You know, so you're caught in this loop of just bullshit, right?
And then you go, I'll just have a little.
Yeah, just that's it. I just need to feel better just a little bit. And, you know, so it's one of those where it's like, there wasn't the internet back then. I couldn't fucking get on and, like, oh, let's Google something. You know, it's like, wasn't that?
So
It's
how
like-
did you figure out that, when did you realize, like, I've got a problem?
God, man. I always, from probably age 14.
Really?
Yeah, I knew when I first drank, first had a drink, that I drank until I was drunk. Like, because that was this taste of Jack Daniels, and it was like, oh, this feels good. It was like not a normal reaction. Looking back on it, going, oh. So I've always had a propensity towards it. And then, you know, it functions both ways, because I get addicted to the sport. I get addicted to the routine. I get addicted to getting in a ring and taking someone's will. I get addicted to the crowd, the championship, the adulations, this. It's like, that's who I am, right?
Right.
And it's a contributor to my success, but it's also a contributor to my demise. You know, in both ways. It's like, you know, from an early age, I understood, like, hey, you know, this could be a problem. You know, and then when wrestling came along, I didn't drink during wrestling. Like, during that whole season, I didn't drink. You know, in college, I didn't drink during wrestling season. Like, when, you know, when it's like, okay, you know, I'm in recovery. I have 7 years of sobriety now. And
Congratulations.
So, yeah,
That's awesome.
I mean, it's for me, it's one of those foundational things of, like, oh, that's what I've been missing my whole life.
Yeah. And you keep repeating that term for a good reason. Foundational is everything.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Oh.
having, like morals and ethics, that's foundational.
Foundational.
Having your health, that's foundational.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because it's just one of those where understanding, like those are the building blocks. Because if I don't have those things in place, nothing else fucking stands up.
Right. Of course.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like the duh.
No,
yeah, right?
but it's an important thing to reiterate, because everybody should hear it. You know, and
It's
coming,
a huge part. It's a
it.
huge part.
it's it with most things in life. Most things in life, you have to have structure, some kind of structure.
You know, figuring out, like, my son, what makes him function, structure. He's told me this. He goes, "You should have been harder on me." I'm like, fuck. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. I didn't
That's
know.
hilarious.
You
That's
know, like, I
hilarious.
didn't know.
I'm going to give you 4 stars, Dad.
Yeah.
I could have given you
I could have given you 5, but you weren't fucking hard enough. I'm like, fuck off.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But he functions best with structure. He's
Yeah.
just one of those individuals that are built like that, right?
Well, I think part of that is kind of probably have seen what you did and genetics, and there's like some learned memory
Yeah.
in there.
I would
Probably.
think so. I would think
I think
so.
there is. And I don't think we totally understand where personalities come from. It's a mixture of, like, spirits and hormones and genetics and where you are born and what part of the fucking moon's facing this
Yeah,
way.
oh my God. Yeah.
I always wondered if that shit's real.
Oh my gosh. It's like, yeah, well, Jupiter's orbiting around my
Yeah.
Saturn. And
I
yeah,
always
like,
wondered,
fuck.
like, why are they so into this? Is there
Yeah.
something to this? Because if there is, I would feel real stupid if I was ignoring it the whole time.
You know what? Listening to Joe Dispenza, some of his stuff, it changed my whole. It's changed some of my perspective of how, like, just having we're energy, right? We're energy, and your emotional energy is transferred to me. It's like why I was addicted to Dawn, because of that exchange of negative energy, right?
Yeah.
Back and forth. It's like being an addict.
Right.
I'm addicted to the drama.
You're also addicted to making up.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah.
Because that's a feel good too.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes people want to get in fights just so
Just
that
to
they
make
can make up.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's the whole process of that fucked up shit. It's how fucked up.
Called fun.
Oh my
What do you
God.
hate fun? Yeah.
Oh my God. So it's
Yeah.
that really fucked up part of like understanding, like looking back on it going, oh shit.
Bro, when you guys were fighting in the movie right before you were about to fight Fuff Chenchin,
Oh my God.
it is such a crazy scene. It's really well done, man.
Oh my God.
It's really well done.
It's how Emily flips that switch of like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You wanted me to come. It's just like, oh my God. It's like, fuck. That's what does it every fucking time.
It's amazing.
Of like that little like,
Yeah.
oh God, I guess I did want her to come. I'm a fucking asshole.
It's
man.
amazing.
Oh, my
it's so realistic. I mean, they nailed it. They really nailed it. How weird is it for you to watch like a segment of your life be recreated in a movie? Is it? I mean,
It's so surreal. I haven't found another word to explain.
right? It seems like there's not a word that they figured out for that one.
There's not, because it's just one where it's like, you know what? On the other side of it, and this is just me going, you know what? I'm grateful. I have a sense of humility. I have a sense of just being like deep, profound gratitude that DJ, Emily, Benny, everybody involved in the film wanted to take this on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because I looked at it going, like, a lot of it's self-worth going, you really want to do a movie about my life? About me? Like, what the fuck? Like, really? And then understanding, like, what they see in me and the belief they have in the story and everything that's around it. Because at
Yeah.
the end of it, it's redemption. It's like where I am today. I'm so thankful that I have my health. I'm so thankful that I have my sobriety. I'm so thankful that I get to experience these things and share, my experience, strength, and hope, they call it, right? With other people and give them going, look at all the fucking bullshit I went through, and I'm on the other side of it. So whatever you're going through, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anything.
Truly. I mean, and the thing about what you did is that, like I said, I thought it was so brave that you did it publicly when you did the Smashing Machine documentary. And I was thinking, like, were you happy that you were getting on film? So like maybe this like would make you get clean? Was there any of that?
Ooh, there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Because part of it is that I didn't, at that point, the only person on the planet that knew what I was doing was Dawn, right? Nobody else on the planet knew what I was doing. And so when John had put the camera down, he's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're not being truthful with us. And I'm like, well, at that moment, I could have went, fuck you, get the fuck out of my house. You're done filming. And there was this moment where it was like, I needed to tell somebody. And I go, okay, like, here's what I've been doing. And I don't know who to tell. I don't know how to tell it. I'm just going to show you. And that's when it shows me shooting up. It was that moment where I'm like, you want to know what I'm doing? Well, I'm going to show you. Because it was one of those where it's like, it felt like a weight got lifted.
Right.
Like all of a sudden it's just like, oh, fuck.
Did you ever think about not going through with the documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what they ended up doing. So I didn't see one stitch of footage at all until I saw the complete documentary in Los Angeles at the Dolby Sound Studios. So it was like a couple of years.
Wow.
Not a second of footage. So I sit down, the documentary as it appeared on HBO, right? And the filmmakers aren't watching the fucking film. They're watching me watch the film. Right?
Wow.
There's like 8 of us in the movie theater. I get the film's done, lights come up, and I literally stand up and John Greenhall goes, what do you think? And I go, I'm going to have to get back with you. And I just walk straight out. Don't say another fucking word. Get in my truck, start driving. Back then the phones, like in the car. He's calling me on the phone and he goes, "You're going to be okay." I go, "I have no fucking clue. I don't know. I honestly don't know." Because the agreement we had in place was I had final veto over the content of it.
But he never showed you the content?
Until that day I saw it in the Dolby Sound Studios in Los Angeles. The content, the whole film, I didn't see any of it until that moment. So literally I drove home and John was like, "What?" I go, you have to give me a day. You have to fucking give me a day. I said, I don't know. I don't know if I can go forward with that. I don't think I can. It's just too fucking much.
Okay, so you did have the power to veto it then.
Yeah, I did. I did at the very.
What made you decide not to?
John had said something to me like, I guess it's like a parable where it's like, if you live your life and you've saved one person's life, you've had a worthy life. Meaning that if somebody watches this and sees your struggles that you've gone through and sees the hope that you have in that in your recovery, it gives them hope, or it gives them, because what keeps you addicted is shame. The shame of what I was doing. It kept me quiet. I didn't who the fuck am I going to tell?
Right. You don't
It's
want them to
shame.
know.
No, you don't want them to know. Like, fuck no. And so that shame is what usually keeps people. But if they see me in the film go through this process and this deep revealing process of what was going on with me, it gives them an opportunity to go, "Why? I can ask for help too."
When you got through the film,
Yeah.
how long did it take you to get clean?
I got clean off of morphine, off of the Nubain I was doing, right after, all the way through the Volchanchen, or all the way through the Fujita fight, and I was clean for. Started drinking, which is a whole nother topic, but I hadn't done narcotics in. Probably like 3 years after that. And then I started up again. And then it was this process of like start, stop. And then the thing that predominantly dominated me was alcohol. Because it's socially acceptable, easily accessible, all these different factors of it. And so that's eventually, like I've said, my mom passed away September 3rd, 1996. And so my son knows this. And so my sobriety date's September 4th. And so my son asked me that day, September 3rd, he's like, "Dad, I know you need to drink today because your mom died, but would you stop tomorrow?" And at the time I thought it was just another empty promise of like, yeah, I'll stop. And next day I got up and there's just something a little different or whatever it was that day. And I stopped asking the questions why, because it's irrelevant, right? And from that day till today, I'm sober.
Wow.
Yeah. Makes no fucking sense.
But it does. It's like you get better at sobriety, just like you get better at all other things in life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You get better at figuring out why. And, there's also the reality that I think a lot of people need to take into consideration when it comes to fighting is that a lot of guys they're self-diagnosing or self-dispensing something to make themselves feel better because they've taken a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah.
And they feel like shit.
Yeah.
And alcohol is a big one. A big
huge.
contributing factor.
Huge.
A lot of former fighters become alcoholics. Cocaine's another one. Yeah.
Because it's one of those where I thought, I literally woke up, Joe, and this is no shit, like waking up going, okay, I don't know what's wrong with me, but there's something fucking wrong. Like there's something wrong with me. And understanding like all this different stuff, head trauma and all these different things and factors, I literally thought I was like going off the deep end. Like I was like, okay, alcohol or drugs was the only relief I got for what the fuck was going on in my head.
So the thing, what did was it past a specific fight?
It was literally it was after 2006. it's like 2006, 2007, 2008. I stopped fighting in 2009. I didn't know what else to do. All my identity was tied up in being a fighter, and understanding like these simple words of like, fighting's what I did. It's not who I am.
Right.
I'm much more than that, right?
Right.
I'm much more than a fighter. And understanding once I got to that point, it's like that's when some of the relief came in. But part of it, my head, like, there's something fucking, I don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. And so I was just seeking relief because of like, there's something that's fucked up in my head. And I didn't know what it was. Didn't know what it was. Still to this day, I look at it like, I call it a God shot because it was one where it's like something needs to change because this is unsustainable. Unsustainable with the alcohol, unsustainable with what's going on in my head. And, get sober, things quiet down. It's actually quiet down. That first year it took that of sobriety, it took to clear out all the bullshit that was in my head. Going, I just need neutral, right? And once I hit neutral, it's like, oh, wow, I can build on this, so... It's been incredible. It makes no sense at all, but it makes perfect sense.
No, it does make sense because you're willing to articulate your deep thoughts, your very vulnerable thoughts on who you are as a guy who was, one point in time one of the scariest fucking human beings walking the face of the earth. And that's important for people to know and to hear and to recognize that, like, man, a lot of people can get caught in that trap.
They can.
Don't think you couldn't.
Yeah.
Just be a little bit more compassionate and understanding and appreciate people for telling a very difficult truth about their life. Because I think people need to hear that stuff.
They do. They do. Like I said, what I understood, like, giving them the permission for the documentary, saying to John, going, okay, if this could change or help one person, then my life has value, right? Because I helped another person. And then when it premiered at HBO at the studios, this was like the whole crowning moment, is having like a 65-year-old grandmother come over to me, who I would have nothing in common with, and say to me, you know what? That was beautiful. My grandson, he's got a drinking problem, and I don't know what to do.
Wow.
It's like this door had been opened, where she felt comfortable to sit down and talk with me about her grandson, and it was like this moment of like, oh fuck, this is what it's about. Mm-hmm. It's about opening that door up so people can connect and go, well, if he can do it, I can tell my truth. Right. Because it's difficult, man. Addictions are just, shaming, and they keep you in a box, and it's just it's a horrible existence.
Did anybody ever recommend Ibogaine to you?
No. I've heard of that, though.
So they're doing that now in Texas. The Ibogaine initiative passed through thanks to former Governor Rick Perry, Republican.
Wow.
Who, through working with veterans, found that a lot of veterans who struggle with addiction and PTSD, that Ibogaine is incredibly effective.
Wow.
And it's not a recreational drug. It's not fun.
No.
But it's a psychedelic that takes 24 hours, and it's apparently like brutally introspective, but literally corrects addictive pathways, like whatever the connection is in the brain that causes you to be addicted to things.
Yeah.
It can disrupt those in a very bizarre and unique way. And it's something like 80+% effective with one dose of getting people to stay off of narcotics, cigarettes, alcohol. And I think with 2 doses, it's in the 90s. So if you do 2 different Ibogaine ceremonies,
that's incredible.
They were going. Most people were going. My friend Ed Clay did it down in Mexico, and he even had a place that he was running down in Mexico because you couldn't do it in America because it's illegal here. But it literally stops the train of addiction dead in its tracks. They don't totally understand how it does it, but it's very effective. I know a lot of veterans who've had
So they've talked about
relief
like
with it.
The neuroplasticity of drugs like that to create new pathways instantaneously.
Yeah,
like
I'd like to say those words, but I don't really know what they mean. You know what I mean? When I say them, I'm just faking. I know that's how you're supposed to say it, so I'll say it, but respectfully, I don't know what the fuck's going on in your brain.
Neuroplasticity or something.
What I do know is my friends that I know that have gone and done the Ibogaine, it's been massively effective.
Wow.
Like, get them off drugs, get them off drinking.
Wow.
get them, they just change their perspective. They go, okay, I get it now. They just realize where they were tripping over their own dick, like what they were doing wrong.
That's incredible.
Yeah, quick. I mean, what else is like that? Where like 24 hours later, you can get a totally new perspective in life and be cured of addiction, and somehow or another, that's illegal. That's illegal, but the stuff that they're addicted to is not.
Oh my God, that's like, that's
We're in
fucking
bizarro
bizarro land,
world.
right? Oh my God,
Total bizarro world.
yeah, none of that makes sense, man. I mean, it just that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
It really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no.
Like what we just said makes no. It should be like, no, it should be the opposite.
Yeah.
It should
my
be the
gosh,
opposite.
man.
This is so stupid.
Because it's just one where it's like, if that stuff existed back then, it would have cut short. You know,
It did
a
exist, but it
decade.
just didn't exist here because
Yeah.
we're corrupt.
Yeah.
And so again, kudos to Governor Rick Perry, because what he's done is like open the doorway to right-wing leaning people going, oh, maybe we shouldn't dismiss all these things that God put here on
Yeah.
earth.
Oh my gosh,
Maybe some of
yeah.
these things are actually here to heal your brain, and we're ignoring them because you can't patent them. Like
Yeah.
that might be the thing too. Not saying there's anything wrong
Just
with
saying,
pharmaceutical drugs,
right.
but I'm saying that
Yeah.
this also might cure you,
Yeah.
and it's readily it's a plan.
So that's, again, in the last 5-6 years, alternative perspectives has been just paramount in my, just in opening me up, to having a better understanding of like how rigid I was and how just this thin line of thinking I had for so long about stuff like this, and so, it's just been this incredible experience to get to here, because I've had to open up. I've had to go, okay, I'm going to do meditation. I'm going to do this. I did meditation for fighting, but it was visual meditation. How the fuck I was going to dismantle a dude in the ring, right? I would sit and do, but this is meditation to access different parts of my brain, right? To try to get into delta waves and, theta, beta, all these different things so I can open different spots in my brain up,
Right.
And so it's just been this, my wife, she's Nichiren Buddhist,
What is
Nam
that?
Myoho Renge Kyo. She chants every morning.
Duncan does that.
Yeah, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. So the Buddha you have, the gold Buddha you have,
Yeah.
we have one in our house. Not quite that big,
Oh, that's
but we
cool.
have, yeah. So she's Nichiren Buddhist, and it's one of those things where she got me to start chanting. I don't do it as much now, but the first 3-4 years we were together, it's like I chanted with her regularly. And it's one of those where it's like harmonics and vibrations and frequencies, and understanding like, man, we know so little, but realistically, all this stuff through like all the different stuff they discovered in Egypt with the sound chambers and all the different things. I mean, it's a whole different thing where we just ignored.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, shit, we don't even, we're so archaic in our thinking.
Well, I think what happens sometimes is thinking and ideas get connected to people, and you think that the ideas and whatever you think you know about history or about the way things can be done.
Yeah.
Like it's all been solved, kids.
Yeah.
Like settle down. Everybody knows. Like no. I don't think they do.
No.
I don't think that you should show me how they built that.
Yeah.
Show me who the fuck figured this out. Like
Yeah.
maybe they knew about medicine
Yeah.
that you're ignoring because you can't patent it.
Yeah.
These people have been making ayahuasca for 10,000
Oh,
years in the
God.
jungle. Like
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
don't tell me.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
my God. Yeah.
Settle down.
Yeah.
Settle down. There's all the things that you think are valid plus other stuff. That's the thing that people have to recognize. You can't be rigid with what you believe in, because sometimes it's wrong.
That's the part where I can't believe how much I've opened up and been just receptive. And a lot of it's because I'm sober, and it's like, fuck, I don't know shit, man. Like when you look at the bigger picture stuff, I know so little.
Dude, nobody knows shit. That's the scariest thing. There's a bunch of people pretending they've got it figured
Yeah.
out, but they're full of shit too.
Yeah.
Every one of us is a talking monkey flying through space. There's
That's a great way to
no
look at it,
roof
right?
over our head. We are in a convertible organic spaceship hurling through the universe. That alone, once you start with that,
Yeah.
that's your foundational. Okay? This is foundational to your view of the world.
Right. Oh my God.
The problem with us is that we don't fucking see the stars anymore. That's a giant problem
Yeah.
with human beings. we've screwed ourselves up with light pollution, and it's not a coincidence that the people that live in the most populated cities are the most diluted, ridiculous people that are the furthest away from nature.
Right?
Not that they're not awesome people, but what I'm saying is, like, you are so far away from nature. You're so diluted from being like a wild animal.
So you know what I've actually done in the last couple of years? I've hugged trees.
Oh,
I've literally hugged trees.
feels good.
It feels beautiful.
Yeah, that's real.
It really is like walking barefoot, right? Like on grass and getting connected. And you know, at first, you would have said to me 10 years ago, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, Dad. You know, but it's like, okay, who says it's not?
I think nature's a vitamin.
Oh yeah, I would
think
agree.
plants. Hey, where did the term tree hugger come from? Did it come from the time where hippies were doing acid?
Probably.
Because then that would make so
makes
much
sense.
more sense. Because if you were on acid and you hugged a tree, you would be like, "Oh, I love you, I love you, tree. You're so fucking amazing."
Oh shit, that originated a
wow.
while ago. Oh.
From a series of nonviolent environmental protests in India, beginning with the Bishnoi community in 1730.
Wow.
Who physically clung to trees to prevent them from being cut down. See, those people are probably on mushrooms.
Whoa. I would
That's
say
why.
yeah.
That's why they worship cattle. That's what I think.
I would have
Why
a
else would
tendency
all
to
those
agree.
poor people not eat cows?
Oh my god, cow's so good.
But doesn't that make no sense?
It makes no sense at
It
all.
makes no sense. You guys have food everywhere, and
Yeah,
you're starving.
starving.
And your religion won't let you eat that food. Boy, okay. How'd you come to this? The only thing that makes any sense to me is those cows were giving you the mushrooms.
They had to.
Because that's
They
where the
grow in
mushrooms go.
poop.
That's where
Yeah,
they grow.
Yeah.
The best source of psilocybin.
Is cow poop.
Duncan used to live in, my friend Duncan Trussell used to live in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And the farmers out there used to put a certain kind of feed into their diet to make sure that fungus couldn't grow in their shit. So that the kids wouldn't go in the field and
Oh
pick
my
the mushrooms.
God.
Because there were so many
my
spores
God.
in that area. These kids would go just get bags of mushrooms and go to other planets. So the farmer had to feed his
Oh my
cow
God.
some
Where is this? 'Cause
anti-mushroom.
I want to see if it's still there.
I wonder if it is.
God.
I bet there's parts of this country where they just grow naturally all
I
over
would
the place.
I would imagine.
Because once those spores get out there,
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I was supposed to actually go down to Brazil and ayahuasca.
oh really?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy that you have to go to Brazil to do that
Yeah.
too? That's nuts.
Yeah.
But all these things.
A friend of mine, we actually went down to stem cells in Panama. It's called Origins. And so we go down there and he starts explaining like this. For him, it was like seeing the face of God. He said it changed his whole entire being. And he's like, it's in the jungle. So there's no like, it's, yeah. exactly. And he goes, it's life changing.
I just picture Alex Pereira walking towards
Dude, totally, man. Totally. Like, that's a scary motherfucker, man. I swear
He's
to God.
the scariest.
Oh, dude.
His walk-in is the
Oh,
scariest,
my
bro.
God, man.
It's the dopest, too.
Oh, it's
that music
it's
starts
this
playing.
taunt. It's this, like,
Yeah.
I'm coming to
Yeah.
get you, and
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's built for one thing. And I bumped into him in Chicago, and it's like, he's built for one thing. He's built to fight.
Yeah. He's built to fuck you up.
Oh, he's built to
He's
fight.
a weirdly strong guy.
Oh, yeah, like literally, it's like he shouldn't be able to do what he's doing. It's
Right.
like, you know, I go, there's no wind up in his kicks, his low kicks.
Nothing.
There's no tells.
No tell.
Like you
And
look
he's
at
sneaky.
it, it's really sneaky.
But he's got unbelievable power.
Oh.
But the thing is, he puts it together with technique. It's not like he's just waiting after you, trying to exchange with you and land first.
No.
No, he's setting you up. And while he's setting you up, he's taking your legs away, and you're not seeing the tells. 'Cause
Oh
they're not
my
there.
God,
His
they're not
hips
there
right
at
in
all.
front of
His
you.
hips.
Wow.
Yep, that's
Wow.
it. They don't move. I was
By
trying
the
to
time
explain.
you think it's coming, it's already there, and you're like,
Oh,
"Bud." Ooh.
and that's the whole thing is that you go, okay, you're thinking you're going to pick up on it, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, you're never going to.
Yeah, he's very clever with that, and he does it with both sides too. He's just as good with the left leg with a
As it-
switch
yeah.
kick when he's fighting
Yeah.
a southpaw. He just starts chewing up those calves really
Oh, my
quick,
God.
man.
I can't believe that even a thing. Is that nerve? I think from the
Yeah, it's a horrible nerve.
Oh, my
That
God.
wasn't a thing when you were fighting.
No, it wasn't crazy. Oh my God! It's just
You have to know it now.
oh my gosh! Like looking at it, going, oh my God, he's taking him out. He can't walk. Look at
Yeah.
it's like 5 kicks in. You're like, oh fuck, he can't push off of
Isn't
it.
it crazy that you went your whole career without seeing that?
I like where did like who discovered it?
Michael
you know?
Bisping.
Yeah,
Even Michael Bisping said it. I went through my whole career without getting calf kicked. That's so crazy.
yeah.
He was world champion. Never got calf kicked.
Like that's a good thing.
Yeah, it was just
That's a
amazing.
really good thing.
But it's amazing that it came along so late.
It's because it's unbelievable. You would think that something that looks that innocent is so debilitating.
Well, Benson Henderson was the first guy to start implementing it in the UFC. And then Mighty Mouse did it to Henry Cejudo and made his leg go limp. Did you ever remember that? He started doing it. But this was like around the time where it started catching on. There was one fight between Dustin Poirier and Jim Miller. Oh, that was a
Yeah.
horrible one.
Yeah.
There was a lot of calf kicks in that fight.
Yeah, I mean that's a copycat league, right? It's a copycat thing. Like watching another fighter going, "Shit, I'm gonna try it."
Now, see, everyone has it.
Yeah.
Everyone has it. You have to have it, and you can't take too many,
No,
no matter who you are.
no, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just one of those where
So vulnerable.
It's one of those where it's like, there's other than checking it or getting out of the way, there's not a fucking shit you can do.
Well, Pereira has a very interesting way of checking it. So he checks it like the hacky sack way. Do you know what I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like when you throw a kick at him, he just lifts his leg.
Yeah.
He just lifts
Yeah.
he has his knee there and he just picks his leg up.
Yeah.
And so the kick just kind of goes with it. And
Yeah.
he goes, it takes
Boom.
all the impact
Taken
off
away.
it.
Wow.
Because he was saying, as far as checking it, like you don't want to check it because it fucking hurts
No.
too much.
Yeah. Oh my
like
God.
even if you're just checking it, now that leg is fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, why check it when you can just do that like hacky sack thing? And he was showing us with it, like, see, oh, that's a different one. He does that one. That's a different hacky sack one where he uses the back of his foot.
Yeah.
But what I mean is he is picking up his leg, like at the knee, his ankle is coming up parallel.
Yeah.
to the
I know
floor.
exactly what you're talking about.
You're not going to see it, but he's just, he's clever. There's a lot of cleverness, and it seems to be very creative, like the style that he
Yeah.
has, like
Yeah.
how he figures out how to, because he knows he's just got to land one. So he's got these very creative little ways to chop at the legs.
Yeah. I
hit you with
still
this.
think Sean O'Malley's got the best feints.
Oh, he got phenomenal things.
I mean, just so I remember watching him before he got to the UFC, and a friend of mine was like, "No, you got to watch this kid. You got to watch this kid," you know. And watching him going, it would be like this just again and again and again, and just realizing, oh fuck, that's what he was setting up.
Yeah.
it was 14 feints, right, to get to what he wanted to get to, and then it was like a feint here, feint on this side, feint here, and all of a sudden he's got a tendency, and now it's like attack time.
Did you ever see the Eddie Wineland one? He feints an uppercut and he comes over the top with the right hand.
I've seen it, but I haven't seen it.
Oh, you got to see it.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. It's one of his prettiest knockouts. He stepped in, like feinted,
And then-
like he was gonna throw an uppercut and turned it into a left
Shit.
hand.
Oh my god.
It was so clean.
Yeah, he's
Look,
done
watch
some
this.
stuff.
Watch this. Watch how he
It's
feints.
amazing.
Look at that. He feints a left uppercut and comes over the top with the right hand.
God.
Watch that again.
And that's one of those
That's
where,
so
where
crazy.
that's oh my god, that's silly.
Bro, that's so beautiful.
Oh my god. That's like one of those things where it's like you can't teach it. You can't teach that stuff.
It's so slick. It's such a slick move.
Cannot teach it.
Did you watch the Terrence Crawford Canelo Alvarez fight?
Yeah, I did.
Woo. Talk
Crawford.
about slick. Oh my goodness.
Crawford just outboxed, man, like fucking unreal.
Who's ever done that? Who's ever jumped up 2 weight classes like that?
Scary.
It's crazy.
Scary. So realizing, like, watching it going, Canelo has such a bully style. Mm-hmm. Right? He's going to get in. He's going to bang with you. He's
Yeah.
going to power. And watching Canelo or Crawford just box.
Just box. Beautifully.
Oh, like I
Beautifully.
watched the whole thing. I'm like, that's art. That is art.
He's so clever and just like
Oh.
the way, and it got to the point where he got so comfortable, he's like pit-patting him and then
Un-
whap, and then throwing, like, what?
Bap, bang.
And
It's like
you're
wow.
watching, like, wow. Towards the end, towards the final rounds, really started getting comfortable and really started putting it on. I'm like, this is amazing.
You know, one of those rare, like that's history, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Watching somebody do, you shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to fight at that weight for the first time ever.
Against one of the greatest,
Undisputed greatest of all
time.
time, fucking, and do what you did.
No.
It is beyond, like my favorite, an outlier. You're
Yeah.
beyond an outlier. You're something, you're an anomaly.
Yeah, something
You know,
special. And he's
something
another
really
one, 30,
special.
I believe he's 37.
Yeah. One of those where you shouldn't be able to do that by any account. By any account. 37, my body was so wrecked. I'm like, fuck you. You know, I can barely go bowling.
I watched a video of Dolph Lundgren the other day. Like that guy was like, remember in Rocky 3, he was the first guy
yeah.
that was scientifically trained.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of like UFC fighters, like
yeah, absolutely.
when you're thinking talking about guys doing everything scientifically,
Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren in Rocky 3.
Yeah, oh my God, man. That
It was
a
Rocky 4, right?
That was a
Rocky
stereotype.
4.
That was a
Yes.
stereotype, like the Russians, they're manufactured. You know, like
Yeah.
biologically manufactured. I came from a test tube, type.
He totally looked
my
like a
God.
Russian experiment
He
in
did.
that movie.
He did.
But that was the first time I saw a Versa climber. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
conditioning. Look at
Oh, my
that.
God.
He's unstoppable.
Yeah, I was on a Versa climber 2 days ago.
They're brutal.
Oh, fuck, I hate him.
Not a lot of fun.
No.
Not an enjoyable
I
activity.
do an Aerodyne, Versa climber, a rower, and then a skier.
All the things that suck.
all the
things that
like,
suck.
Like going, just, but it's one of those where I'm like, you know what? I don't have to do it for anything other than the challenge of just doing it.
Yeah. I think everybody needs a little bit of a challenge, and just getting over the challenge of doing, like I'm doing 45 minutes on this elliptical machine, period.
That's it.
Yeah, that's good for you.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's giant.
Because it's just like when I train, it comes small wins, right? I just need a win. It's like some days I just need fucking a win. That's it. I don't care what it is.
Right.
I just need a win.
Right.
Being nice to my wife, being
Right.
nice to, just whatever it is, I just need something that day.
Right.
It's like, fuck, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get on a fucking thing that I hate, and I'm going to fucking do it for 45 minutes, and that's a win.
And I think if you looked at the proportion, like if you looked at this, if there was a study done on people that are happy versus people that are not in this life, I bet the people that would generally say they're happy get more of those. Get more of those wins in over themselves.
Yeah.
Get more of those doing some shit that you did want to do, but you did it.
Yeah.
There, I'm done.
Yeah.
I feel better.
And that's for me, that's the link to get to where I am today, is that I didn't understand how huge those components were.
Yeah.
Because when you're competing and stuff, it's easy because every day you need to get wins.
Right.
And you're stacking them, right? I'm stacking them. I need every day. I need a good training day. I need a good training day. And then you get to regular life. It's like, okay, what the fuck? I'm not like, what's my
Not doing anything.
Yeah, what's my win? Letting somebody in on traffic?
That's a giant problem for fighters too, because you're at fucking 9,000 RPMs for years, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to go to normal life now?
No. And I didn't. So this is again where fucking this idea of like I didn't understand how much of myself was tied up in it and how much I needed to go. It's what I did, not who I am. And understanding like this, who I am, has a lot longer career than this fighter.
Yeah.
Right. It's understanding who I like. Really getting into the fact that, I'm much more than just a fighter, and understanding like, okay, what is that? I'm a compassionate person. I'm empathetic, I'm try to be kind and understanding the people around me. I try to bring, I call it emotional sobriety, right? Like if I'm emotionally honest with the people in my life, everybody else fits in. If I'm emotionally dishonest, people get fucked up. My environment gets all fucked up.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's understanding these aspects about my life going, oh God, man, I need to make these the important parts of where I'm building and what I'm building in my life. And it's been, it's been a process. It's been, some days I'm like, fuck this, man. Fuck this. And other days I'm like, oh, it's just a day.
As long as you can keep that clarity of knowing that these fuck this days are going to pass.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in my Hall of Fame speech, I call it, like when I was first getting sober, it was like I would try to get through a minute. I go, I just need to make it through this minute. That's all. And then I just need to make it through this next minute. I just need to get through this next. Some of them were fucking hard because I just wanted to fuck this because I'm so uncomfortable. And I'd get through that minute. I go, I just need to make it through this hour. I need to just make it through this day. And then it'd be this week, and then all of a sudden it's like a month goes by. But I'd still have to go back. I just need to make it through this fucking minute.
Right.
It's just how I'm built. Like this just self that just is so restless inside. It's like, fuck. Amazing.
Do you think that was accelerated by fighting, or do you think that was a pre-existing thing that drew you to fighting?
I think it was accelerated by fighting. I do. A lot of it just, I'm a competitor. Being a competitor allowed me to fight, but fighting was like hurting another human being to the level that I had to hurt them. That was a whole nother experience. It's like I could wrestle, I can compete, I can do grappling, but to physically beat, I had to flip a switch and turn into this other person that I'm like, fuck, I'm glad I know he's there, but it's like, that's not me.
Right.
It's just this weird dichotomy or this weird...
That nobody ever really gets to experience except for someone like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe at another level, a higher level, someone at war.
Yeah. Oh my God, I understand why there's, a lot of the veterans and what they go through. It's like, that's not how you're built as a human being.
Right. You're not supposed to experience that.
No.
And then come back and just be normal.
Normal.
Yeah, like...
It's like, oh, fuck.
That movie Hurt Locker when he's walking around the supermarket. You can tell he wants to go back.
Oh my God. It's because it's just one where it's like, it's not how I'm built. I have a lot more compassion as for other human beings. But, I was glad to know that if I got put in a fucking room with another dude, I was coming out, motherfucker. That was a good thing to know.
It's a good thing to know.
Right?
Yeah. It's a good thing to know. Do you, when you look back, if you were going to give yourself advice, when would you think would have been a good time for you to stop fighting?
After Fujita.
After Fujita?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was, what, and like if people understood like at that time period, like I got sober, I fought Ensign, and then I went and did Abu Dhabi, and I won my weight class, won the all around, which was a big deal for me. At the time, it was a huge deal. And then if I would have won that championship, if I would have won the Pride Grand Prix, it would have been mic drop. I could have walked away, and it could have been a Khabib moment where it's like, oh, I wonder how good he could have been. It would have been a complete fucking mic drop, right?
Right.
But it's just at that moment, I knew that something had changed in me, that I didn't have that thing in me that I needed to do it. Because you need a thing in you to do that. You do. And that's what we're talking about, like a gear. You need a different gear. You need a different component to get to that level. And if you don't have it, it's like, let's say in the NFL, if you're thinking about retirement, you shouldn't be playing the game.
So you were at a point where your dislike of hurting people was interfering with your job.
Yeah. Because I had to just get to a place which is just, just a place that I just didn't like being.
Right. No, it makes sense talking to you, because it's funny you talk to certain people like yourself and George, like George St. Pierre. I was just hanging out with him the other night, and my friends are always like, he's so normal. This is so weird. Like, it's so hard to believe that guy's one of the greatest fighters of all time, but because he's so normal.
Yeah.
But that's also the beauty in it. That's why people are fascinated by fighting, because they want to know, what can a normal person do?
Yeah.
What can a normal person turn himself into?
Yeah.
What is possible?
Yeah, and that's I answered that question for myself, right? And it's one where it's like, okay, you know, and for me to get there was so not difficult, but like I would watch film of me walking out and I couldn't even recognize myself. Like my facial expression, how I walked, how I carried myself, I'd look at it and go, wow, that doesn't even look like me. Like transforming like into a completely different person. And it's understanding like compartmentalizing everything, like no emotions, no nothing, singularly focused to one thing. And that thing was, I'm going to impose my will on you till I fucking take yours. That's it. And for me, it just was a darker place for me to go.
Right, of course. And probably unsustainable if you want to be a happy person.
No, you can't.
But
you can't.
In order to be the Mark Kerr that everybody loved, you kind of had to go there. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the wildest thing that most people will never understand. Only a person like yourself who's actually experienced it will really, truly understand what those words mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one where...
It's a nutty requirement of someone.
Fuck yeah.
A nutty request.
It is.
Hey, you want to go fight in front of the whole world?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's fucking... You talk about vulnerable. Like vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like fucking bearing your soul. That's... Because you get to a place of exhaustion... You know, it's weakness. You know, you're showing everybody you're in there. You weren't strong enough to train to the capacity you need to train to fight. And look at this dude. He's beating the fuck out of you. And you got fucking hot pants on. Right? To add a little fucking insult, right? You got fucking hot pants on. He's beating the fuck out. So, I mean, there's that whole thing. It's very fucking vulnerable to fight. Because it's just very, like the loneliest place, two loneliest places in the world is walking into the ring and after the fight's over. The two loneliest places I've ever been in my entire life are those two places. Because there's no help when you're walking into the ring. It's just fucking you, and you know that. And after the fight, it's just you. And you have to live with whatever experience you just had, win, lose, or draw. You know, times I won, I felt empty because it felt like I needed to go do something again. It felt like I needed to go achieve something again. Like everything was so focused on this thing. Once this thing's over, I need another thing. I need to go chase that thing.
Oh, wow.
It's this never ending, like for me, it was this never ending because I was trying to be enough. I was just trying to be enough and I could never get there.
Isn't it crazy that kind of addictive behavior and thinking is almost the only way to make true excellence?
I know. Isn't it fucking... It's just so fucked up, right?
It's so fucked up.
Like, come on! Because
so
I know
crazy.
it doesn't only apply to fighters. I know it's actors.
Oh,
and I know it's artists
musicians,
and you know, people that...
Yeah.
Do you think Steve Jobs had fucking... I mean...
Yeah.
That's, again, singularly focused.
Singularly focused.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just this, it's the, you know, madness and brilliance, you know, are almost of the same vein, right? And, you know, this driven component of me, the bane of that is that once that thing was over, I had to go fucking chase something else. And I could never fucking sit in that moment and be okay with whatever. And... You know, again, it's one of those things where it's like, thankfully, I am designed the way I am, you know, because I'm finally in a place where I'm like, I'm okay with me. Yeah, I'm completely okay with me. You know, and it's taken me a long time to get here.
Well, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad that you got there, and I'm glad to just be able to sit down with you and talk to you and tell you how much I appreciate, first of all, your career. But you've been able to do that Smashing Machine documentary, I think, wasn't just... eye-opening for a lot of people to realize, like, wow, a lot of these guys are struggling in a way that we couldn't even possibly comprehend. It's all they're doing in private. This guy just let us into his life. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, how many more stories are there out there like this?
Yeah.
Opens people up to the conversation. But also, like, having the courage to let people, like, look at your life like that. I think it's pretty powerful, man.
No, I appreciate it.
And the movie's great. And The Rock, you fucking nailed it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I mean, TheCk, Emily, you know,
She
Benny.
nailed it.
Oh, my God.
She
Oh,
nailed
my
crazy
God.
with
Oh.
it. She got an A+.
Oh, my
Wow.
God. Yeah,
Chef's
exactly.
kiss for that craziness. Well, thank you, sir. Thanks
No,
for being in here,
I
man.
appreciate
it was a lot
it,
of fun.
man. I
The
appreciate
Smashing
it.
Machine. It is out October 3rd, right? Is that when
Yeah,
it's
October
out?
3rd, yeah. Yeah.
It's very good.
I appreciate it, Joe. Thanks for having
And
me.
Boss Rutan kills it in it too.
Yeah.
It was great. All right, thank you. Bye, everybody.
All right, cheers.